Howdy, howdy.
Hello, hello, hello. How you doing?
I am doing pretty good today. Just getting data updated real quick from yesterday.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Can't complain. How's your weekend?
Good. Yeah, not bad. How about you?
Pretty good. I just ate a lot of food. I had a cheat day. I'm on a little bit of a diet, so I went 2 weeks of not eating a lot of food and just gorging food this weekend. It was glorious.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that the opposite. You should try it. What I do is I just have gorge days and then you have a day where you're on a diet and then you have six gorge days. I mean, it's a
I,
new trend.
I did that for like 2, 3 years. That's what got me in this predicament. But okay, well let's get started, guys. The other guys are hopping in. Mason's got a flat tire, so he's going to be running a little bit late, but we can go get started. Um,
I didn't put anything in there. I just was working on stuff all day, but I have things for you. So sorry for not a heads up on what I was going to chat with you about, but
it's all good.
I wanted to keep you on your toes. I knew you'd been pigging out all weekend.
Yeah, good thinking. It'll get me energized. Okay, cool. Well, hey, however you want to do things, I can stop sharing my screen. We can just talk, or I can type stuff out. It's up to you how you want to do it.
Well, I went in today. I've been kind of working on some stuff with the ads and looking at other people. I haven't gone so far as to actually, go in and sign up for somebody and go through a consultation. Like, I'm a med spa. I've gotten close to that a few times because I just kind of want to see what they do and how they're offering things. But so I've done that. But I went ahead and I filmed today 9 or 10 ads of myself. Um, and I got one done. That's part of the reason I didn't get type things up, but I literally just like 30 seconds ago got it exported so I could show it to you. And this is the one that, you and I, it was kind of your idea of, hey, make something where I think the words you used were, I could find it exactly, but, it was like, hey, if you're struggling to convert leads into customers, this is for you. So I went ahead, I came up with a script for that and filmed it. So if you want, I'll share. Now, this is very raw, um, but I can share this to you here. Let you look at it and just see what you think. Hey, med spa owners, if you're struggling to convert leads into paying customers, sorry, that came up really before I could get the.
That's okay.
Hey, med spa owners, if you're struggling to convert leads into paying customers, listen. It just keeps, hang on. There it goes. Hey, med spa owners, if you're okay, let me do this again now. So I haven't put any graphics with it. Basically, all I got a chance to do was make sure it sounded okay, and I cut out the dead spaces and stuff. Uh, there it is. Okay. Can you see the VLC screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Hey, med spa owners, if you're struggling to convert leads into paying customers, listen up because this is for you. A lot of med spas think the problem is getting leads, but let's be honest. The real challenge is getting those leads to actually book and show up. Maybe you or your front desk team just don't have the right sales strategies to turn inquiries into appointments. Or maybe you're relying on manual follow-ups that take too much time
and still don't get results? Well, that's where I come in. I've helped med spas all across the country generate thousands of dollars every single month by turning their leads into booked paying clients. And now you can join in on that success with a proven system that works. 1. Simple, effective sales techniques. No hardcore selling, just proven strategies that work. 2. AI-powered lead nurturing, so follow-ups happen automatically through texts and emails. 3. A streamlined booking process that makes it easy for clients to say yes. If you've got leads coming in, but too many are ghosting you, you're leaving thousands of dollars on the table every month. Let's fix that. Click now to schedule a free consultation, and I'll walk you through my system for turning med spa owners into booking machines. Spots are limited, so if you want to fill up your calendar with high-paying clients, let's talk. Click the link now and grab your spot.
So the only thing I don't have in there, and I have other takes that I just didn't have a chance to add in. And I may, I don't know. Let me just let you give your thoughts first before I start defending myself.
Yeah. Overall, I think it's good. The thing that's coming to my mind is sometimes, you say some things and then you see it produced, and then you have these other thoughts that come to your head. And so as I watch this, the new thought that's coming to my head is, okay, well, who's this going to attract? And in my mind, I have an idea of who it's going to attract. And you've probably spoken to multiple med spas like this. And I always say it's the girl who is ready to monkey branch. And so what I mean by that is, oftentimes, obviously you've been in a loving, committed relationship, but what I'm seeing, in the newer generations, younger guy especially, you have a guy and you have a girl, and the girl is not completely pleased with the guy, but she's not going to say anything to him. And so instead, she's going to start looking for another guy. And then only when this guy's really dropped the ball and she's sure about this guy, she's going to go ahead and move on. But she's kind of got her hands on in both cookie jars. And so I see that very often in the medical spa niche. Very, very often. I don't see it nearly as much in other industries, but in med spas, yeah, because there's so many crappy marketers, so many kids in the space that are just, these med spa agent owners are constantly looking. They'll sign with a client and then literally the same week they're looking at other ads and booking calls. And so as I say this to you, the thing, and again, it goes back, we have to test it. But what comes to my mind is I would not be surprised. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I don't know. But I would not be surprised if you get a bunch of monkey branchers because of the messaging. It's like you're already getting leads. So how are they getting leads? They're not doing content. They're not doing cold outreach. So how are they getting leads? Most likely paid ads. So who's doing the paid ads? Most likely not the business owner. Most likely they have a marketing agency. So that's kind of what's brewing in my head initially.
Yeah, as I was watching this, and I have other takes of it, I basically make it like there's 3 steps. You got to do the sales, you got to do the AI and the nurturing, and then what I'm not putting in there is that we also get you the leads.
Yeah.
With this system. And, so I think, and I've got, like I said, other takes where I could splice that in where I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe, and give them the full, here are the 5 steps.
Here's an idea as well. Again, I don't know if this is a good or bad one, but hey, are you struggling? Hey, you and I both, again, I'm just this off the top of my dome. Hey, you and I both know that I'm not saying this has to be the best hook. I don't know how good it is, but I think it would draw on a specific type of person. And the person that we're drawing here is a person who knows paid ads is the solution, who has tried it but has given up on it. Now they're not monkey branching. They're basically single. And so we can swoop in and be Mr. Prince Charming. So, hey, you and I both know that paid ads is the #1 way to scale your med spa agency. But chances are you have inconsistently used paid ads to grow your business. Maybe they're on right now, maybe they're off right now. And the problem is that you're getting the leads, but you can't convert them over. And that's not any fault of your own. And it could be, and that's all I've got. It could be, I don't know if it's you, I don't know if it's the other agency, I don't know what it is, but here's what I can tell you. Here's how you do it the right way. So that's, again,
you and I both know the paid ads are the #1 way to scale your agency. And then I couldn't keep up with you.
Yeah. You and I both know, I'm not saying this is verbatim, but
I can't remember the part you said after that.
You and I both know that paid ads like the one you're watching right now is the #1 way to scale your med spa. The problem is you keep turning your ads on and off or firing these marketing agencies left and right because you can't convert the leads over into customers. So that's kind of the hook there. So now we're drawing people that are extremely frustrated. They're getting leads. Hopefully, they don't have a marketing agency. So a little bit slightly different.
So basically, we're coming at them with, you've tried this, you've done a bazillion things. You've done networking, you've done face-to-face, you've done referrals, you've done it all. Paid ads is going to bring you some leads.
I don't think you necessarily need to go into, hey, you've done referrals, this, that, this, that.
Yeah, but that's kind of the message. We're saying, that paid ads is where it's at.
Yeah. Paid ads is where it's at, but you can't make it work. It's like Thor's hammer is the greatest darn tool in the world, but you can't lift the damn thing. It's like it's so useful, but you can't lift the damn thing. You can't use the damn tool. Every time you try to use it, it hurts you.
That could be because you aren't sure how to run ads. You fire the agencies because you can't convert the leads. So, and then just kind of go down some thoughts there.
The problem is the same problem we said in the first ad, which is the number one problem is they can't convert leads into customers. That's the number one problem. Now, I guess what I'm trying to say with this messaging is if you say it the right way, your ad right now is, I think, potentially going to attract people that already have an agency owner, that already have an agency, versus what I'm saying is the way we tweak this one up is to try to get after people that they know Thor's hammer, like they know ads as Thor's hammer, but they can't wield it and they've tried. So it's like they've gone through marketing agency 1, 2, 3. They've even tried their ads themselves, maybe. So they've worked with at least one marketing agency and they've maybe even tried their own ads, but they just for the life of them can't get them to work. That's who we're looking for.
But so the disconnect is whether it's you or these agencies bringing you these people on these leads, you can't convert them into booked paid customers. That's where I come in.
There you go.
And then, but I also tell them, so the system is, we're going to run effective ads. You're going to get the leads, maybe more than you've ever had. So you're going to get all these ads, you're going to get all these leads, and then, I'm going to take it one step further than the guys you've ever worked with, and I'm going to teach you how to take these people into all the way through, or something like that.
I think one of the things that makes the ad that you have right now work really well is the fact that you're actually not saying that. What are you saying in your current ad?
AI.
You're saying AI, and then you also say this, not only this ad, but that's not even the best part. The best part is we got the leads, we qualified them, and we booked them into your calendar.
Yeah.
So you're not telling them they have to learn anything. Your messaging right now, what you're suggesting is that you're going to teach them something. They don't want to learn anything. They're already busy. If you tell them we'll take care of it for you, which you are, it's part of your offer. You're taking care of it for the first 7 days. Now all of a sudden, it takes that off their plate. So it's like, hey, ads is the right solution. You've tried it and or hired marketing agencies. You can't wield the damn thing. Here, let me just wield it for you. I got you. You don't got to learn a darn thing. You don't got to do a darn thing. Let me just come in there and take care of it for you.
So then, obviously, I think that would get people on the phone talking to me. How do I position it in the sales call then when I say, look, I'm only going to do this for 7 days?
Well, how are you doing right now?
Huh?
Well, the thing is, you're saying that. The thing is, you're already saying that in the current ad, right? In the current ad, it says, hey, that's not the best. That's not even the great part. The best part is we get the leads, we qualify them, we book them into your calendar, we use AI. So you're already saying that in your current ad, if you think about it. But it doesn't come up, does it?
Once in a blue moon. I mean, I am getting a handful of people here and there going, I really like this AI thing you were talking about in your ad. And what I've kind of deflected it to as well, the AI part is the automatic texts and the emails and and we're nurturing you. You still got to call people. You still, because people aren't going to respond to a robot all the time. And yeah,
I don't think you got to change anything, honestly, Jeremy. I think the way you've been doing it, you'll probably keep being able to deflect and do it the way you've been doing it.
Yeah, just like last week, my meetings, I think I only had 2, and so far I have nothing booked this week. So I kind of feel like it's time. I got to get something
Yeah.
new, maybe fresh out there. So like I said, I recorded 10 different ads, and I did like one of your videos was where essentially the middle part is always the same. It's the end and the beginning, which is a different phrasing or whatever. So I
Yeah.
did a bunch of those, but even as I was watching this one back, the glaring thing here, this sounds like I'm not getting them leads. It sounds like all I'm doing is teaching them how to work on the leads they're getting.
It
So I
sounds
need
it
to,
sounds like it sounds like you have a system that uses AI and a sales training program. That's what it sounds to me like.
yeah, but I'm not bringing them the leads.
Right. And we
You're
want
going to have to get another person to bring you the leads. I'm going to teach you how to convert them into sales and then follow up and text them and email them. And then that's it.
yeah. If we look at your initial ad, the one that's right now, I know I sound like a broken record, but if you really study it, you're offering the whole shebang. We're going to get you the lead. We're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing. You got to do nothing. That's why it works so well. And so it's adopting. Honestly, I think it's a lot of what you and I are talking about is like we're just like remixing that ad. It's kind
Right.
of remixing it. Like that ad is a proven ad. It's like it's got the salt and the pepper, it's got all the spices. We're just maybe rearranging a little bit. It's kind of what we're doing here.
So maybe
That
use
like
almost the exact same script. And instead of talking about making it so AI heavy laden, we're talking about more just we're going to convert those leads.
I think because I think that I think I think the video ad that you have right now, that could almost serve a majority of that could serve as the middle part of it. And then you're just swapping out the beginning and the end almost. The ad, the way it starts, if you think about that ad, the way it starts is this ad right here got this result, but that's not even the cool part. That's just the
Right.
hook. The rest of it is the body. What we did is we called them, we qualified them, booked an encounter, we use AI, and I think that all stays the same.
So I could just replace kind of what I was saying here at the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead of saying, hey, this ad right here, whatever, you say, hey, you and I both know da 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 da. But fortunately for you, we have a solution to that. We do
Right.
this. Call them da 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 da.
So yeah, I might, yeah, just change up the look a little bit and throw that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know. I did in my ad set, I think on Friday or Saturday, duplicated it, kicked it off and nothing's happened yet. And I didn't have a chance to actually put in my numbers on my spreadsheet. So, but I know, like I said, things just kind of, there was a span there where I think it was around a week or two before the end of January was the last time I duplicated it. And it took a week or so. And then all of a sudden, all of February was just, I was swamped.
Yeah.
So I may let this one go for a week or two before it and see if it'll catch. Because, I've looked at the total plays and impressions. I mean, when you're talking about hundreds of millions of people across the United States, I've barely even touched it. So it's not like I think the ad is all of a sudden dead. I just wonder if it's starting to get shown to the same people all the time. So I just want to make sure I'm not, saturated. I'm too oversaturated with those people. So, um, yeah. Okay. So maybe I just redo the beginning.
Yeah.
I wonder, I think people would notice if like I took the beginning of this one and just spliced it into the other one, even though I'm wearing a different shirt, or they would even care.
I've seen people do that. Actually, it's up to you. I mean, is it worth testing if you want to just if you're like, hey, because you guys want to get something up and running today, and that's gonna be the fastest. Like, yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's what I've been working on. I have,
Another tip I'll give you. I'm glad you brought that up. You might have noticed every ad I have, I'm wearing the same shirt.
yeah. So when you film, you're always,
I'm wearing the same.
yeah.
That's why.
Yep. I should have thought of that today. I just thought, I want to, I thought part of what I thought could be the oversaturation is they're seeing the same color, the same shirt, the same face, same position. And then today, basically, I made it look exactly the same. It's just I'm wearing a different shirt. So I've been thinking about, just like almost filming one that doesn't look so highly produced, more along the lines of what Amon did and just try it, where his kind of looked like he filmed it with his phone and just knocked it out. I do have the AI version one that I did a while back, but as cool as I think that is, I don't think it's really that good. The AI still doesn't sound human. The lips don't always match, and so I'm not ready to try that. But okay, there was something else I wanted to talk. I'm still not able to get. I had another A2P fail
Hmm.
on a different client. This one because the only email she has for her business is her Gmail. That's it. She doesn't have a real email. So they failed it because of that. I don't, this stuff is, I've passed others with Gmails in there. So that one failed, and I had the Zoom guy come on, and he helped me set up using the subdom or the new domain I had bought, which was just, her website .co instead of com. He helped me get that set up. We'll see if it passes now. Um, and then the other one, the lady, uh, all I need her to do is have her web people add in a privacy policy and terms of service on her real web page, and she's just not doing it. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, oh, there, she just sent me a clip. She must have heard me talking about her. I'll have to see what she says. Anyway, yeah, I mean, not a lot that I have a whole bunch of questions on. Um, it was mostly the ads. I just kind of have that same feeling I was getting at the end of January of like, I got to get something, but there's also the part of me that just thinks, wait a week and we'll see what happens. Because it seems to start, it just wanes. It just wanes here and there.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the best way to that's a struggle with a lot of people is like just you never know when lead flow is going to slow down, and the only solution is just committing an hour a day and just constantly throwing stuff out there and just saying, hey, look, um, I'm gonna have a fatty piece of steak where the fat represents all the ads I test that don't really work, the ad spend of the weeks or whatever, and the lean meat is the stuff that really kicks off. And there's gonna be a fatty steak for a few months, but then as I figure it out and get closer and closer to like just understand what pattern, what works, I'm gonna have a really lean meat where I'm really clear with my ad spend. That's kind of the best way I've kind of come to find it.
What are your thoughts around like the carousel ad instead of a single image ad? The Facebook Pro who spoke to Alpida, and I got a email from her from Mumbai, saying the Facebook Pro really was recommending to her to put 6 or 7 images and one video in the carousel ad. And the only thing I can say is that this person set up two different ad sets and campaigns for her. Most of the stuff they duplicated straight from me, but they did flip over a few things that I had didn't have on based on the videos, and her impressions and reach and stuff just went through the roof.
Really.
And she's getting leads, you know, basically at the same rate, but because there's so many more impressions and so many, when you do like mine, she had 5 leads out of 10. Great, 50%. This one, she's getting like 50 leads out of 100. And to be honest with you, I'm not even really sure what they did. They just turned on a handful of things. But that's the only big difference I've seen. But they really want her to put in some carousel, and I just thought, I wonder what your thoughts were on that.
So is it that the CPM has dropped and the costs are cheaper,
No,
or
all the numbers except for the reach and the impressions are, I mean, the cost, everything is about the same. She's just got bigger reach. And I'm not sure, to be honest with you, I could pull it up because I studied it this weekend
yeah, you can
before I responded to her, because she wanted to know what the results were. And I said, basically, everything is costing exactly the same, but from what I can tell, you're just getting a lot more impressions, a lot more reach.
if you're getting more impressions and more reach, that means the CPM is lower.
It's really not, though. That's the weird thing here. Let me show it to you.
So
Hang on one second. Okay. So this one was the bottom one. I don't know how to rearrange these where they could be, side by side. But let's do January 1st through today. So the bottom number is mine. Now this thing, and I've limited the column so you can just see some stuff a little easier.
So
But
your stuff is 890 leads. What's your CPM?
let me pull that up on here. My CPM was $27. Hers is at this point is 32. But what you're seeing are results from January 1st through March 17th. But this thing this campaign they turned on, the top one up here, has 18,777 impressions in like, just 10 days,
So
10, 15 days.
so so really quick, I just want to go over this with you really quick just to make sure we're on the same page. CPM, what is your definition of CPM?
Cost per 1,000, what it costs to show it to every 1,000 people.
Exactly. So your impressions is like mathematically, it's impossible for them to have a higher CPM and have it's impossible for them to have a higher CPM and higher impressions, like mathematically.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. But yes, the only thing that's weird is, I mean, it's that number 18. It took me a lot longer than what they did to get to 18,000. So I know if you go into the ad set,
Wait,
so
go back real quick. I want to see the reach. Um, so their impressions is 18,000. What is their reach?
9,000, almost 10,000. Mine was 22. So they caught up to me in just like no time whatsoever. Oh, can I make this bigger for you?
I can see it's okay, but thank you. So you got you basically your reach to impressions is about half, and their reach to impressions is about half.
Yeah,
Um,
the numbers overall, not a lot of difference when you just break down numbers. It's just their sheer numbers are coming in so much faster than mine were.
how much have they spent?
$612. I
You,
don't know. Is there a way I can set this up so we can know the exact date they started on, other than just like clicking backwards on days?
you just have to click back on day. I like to do ranges. That helps me get it faster.
I know here, I know the day I was on a meeting. I was out because I about drove the car off the road when she called me and told me she was doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Second here. Say it was the beginning of March.
I'll be right back as you look for that.
Okay. Oh, there it is. No. What is it?
Sorry about that, Jeremy.
Yeah, I can't find I know it was sometime like before March. So I just know these have only been running for a couple of weeks, whereas mine have been running, for, I don't know, maybe it's not a lot different. I don't know.
What's their cost per lead right now? $1.15 versus yours is $1.57.
Yeah.
And has she made sales from them?
She had now I don't get in on that part because she's got some lady from India and actually my wife now making calls for her. But see, all this stuff started when she left for India. It was almost kind of like she did it going, look, I know I'm going to be away. If this screws up, he can't get me. So, um,
I'm looking at it looks like
the cost per click, I mean, most of it is negligible. We're not
there-
talking about like big differences.
yeah, it's and the big thing I'm seeing is she's doing a CBO campaign versus you're doing ABO.
So where do you see that? See, what's CBO and ABO? What's that mean?
You scroll to the left and where it says budget. So you see where yours says using ad set budget versus hers says
Okay. Yeah, hers, she did tell me where they're like running two ad sets and they're doing it from the campaign level where the money is going where there's more demand.
so yeah, so theoretically, sometimes works, sometimes not true. But the idea is that she's basically they've set the budget at $50 of the campaign and it's going to distribute it amongst the ad sets how it sees fit, like the algorithm is.
Yeah, and if
and
you look, like one is barely getting anything.
yeah, and so that's typically going to be the loser. Typically, I mean, for the people that it works really well for, I think fantastic for them because it allows you to just like throw in a bunch of ad sets, a bunch of ads, and then just Facebook just figures it out. And just so you know, in case you're curious about this, the way you make your decision is the highest return on ad spend with the highest spend. So if something has high spend but low return on ad spend, that's a loser. If something has high return on ad spend but low spend, it's still a loser. It has to have high return on ad spend and high spend. And so you just throw a bunch of stuff and just kind of see what sticks, and then from there you scale that. So it's kind of a cool technique. That's the only thing I'm really seeing. I'll be honest with you. Like in terms of all the other changes they made, negligible. Like I would say the big thing that they did is the CBO stuff. In
Yeah,
terms of numbers,
they
um,
did in the they did turn on some of the AI stuff. That
okay,
I tried and tried to tell her I didn't want to do that, but that's I don't get the
yeah. I mean, I don't know. To me, I'm not seeing anything that looks significantly different. I wouldn't worry about it. I would say, it kind of goes back to what I said to you the other day, a few weeks ago, where I said, hey, just focus on the number that's closest to sale. What's your cost per acquisition? And if their cost per acquisition is half of yours, well, then I would say pay attention. But until then, I'd shrug it off. I wouldn't mind you too much. And here's one thing I'll say. I hope this doesn't come across disrespectful, but those guys are people that are 9 to 5ers. They're not running their own ads. They don't know what they're talking about, in my experience, most of the time.
yeah, that's kind of where I feel, but
They're
anyway,
reading from a pamphlet, they don't have any
yeah.
experience, in my opinion.
The other thing, I mean, like I said, the carousel thing. So if I wanted, let's say I wanted to set up one like that for myself to test. If I put in, what is that? Is it like, I guess that's what I don't understand. And I tried to do some reading to figure out when the carousel ad is presented to the customer, is it something they have to click through, or is it like Google ads where like on Google ads, I put in 15 headlines and Google will try each one of those and only present one headline, but the one that's really working. And the other 14 kind of sit there waiting for their turn.
You're
So
familiar with what a carousel is, yeah?
yeah, it's the where you can put in up to 10 videos. And yeah, I mean, a real carousel, yes.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's
So do the customer actually click through it? So that's my thing with her. I'm like, why would you want to have 7 things for them to click through? I just, that's what I don't understand is I don't, now maybe they, Facebook knows better than me. I kind of feel like it's just why would I have to, you're asking me to create now 7 creatives. So I was trying to be,
what I've seen work really well is can you see my screen?
oh no, let me share mine. Stop sharing mine.
Mark Manson. I mean, what I really like is I don't know that it's the best ad for you for med spa in your niche. I really like how this guy does his carousels, and you'll kind of notice a pattern if I find a good one. If you can't move forward, you're also the one tearing things down, and then he kind of teaches you stuff. He helps
Well,
you
that's what I
understand.
was gonna ask you is instead of making like 7 ads, which is what it sounded like Facebook was wanting her to do, I thought, why not make the first one an ad and then like the next picture is step 1, book your call. Step 2, meet with the doctor. Step 3, get approved. Step 4, get your medicine. Or, did you know tirzepatide does this? Give like little did you know factoids and stuff like that.
That's what makes more sense to me. That so that's what I would do. That every time I've seen a carousel that has spoken to me, that's what I've seen. And I have tried carousel ads and I made mine that way as well, and they work pretty well for me.
Okay.
So.
I had a giant I got to make 7. It took me, 10 iterations of 1 to get her to say, that's good. And I thought I got to do this now 7 times. So yeah, I think that maybe if she still wants to do it when she gets back, that's probably the way I'll present it to her is let's do it as like factoids or steps or a mixture of both. And let's see what happens from there. So, okay. I've taken up enough time. I'm going to let Raman go here. I know he usually has to get up and early or something. He's always like, I'm going to get off here and eat and go to bed. So I'm going to let him do that.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be, I was going to be tight trying to beat him in as number 1 today, but I did it. Number 1. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna get back to work on some of this stuff.
I'm good.
See you later.
See you next week. Mr. Robin, what's going on, man?
All right. So, I was actually just looking through my ad sets. I had the Instagram ads on Advantage Plus audience, which I did not realize. I thought I'd set it up differently, but I did have it. But it's working fairly well in terms of the like cost per verify. I'm getting a lot fewer like people that are like, I didn't reach out to you. Who are you? I'm not getting married. With the Advantage, and I'm like, should I I guess you like from what you said, keep this one running. I shouldn't turn it off, right? Yeah. Keep this one running if it's working, and to get some more data and see, should I try another test at some point with another one of these, because it seems to be working by again. Yeah, go ahead.
You share your screen and then we can have a look at the numbers, and actually I'd like to see the ad as well.
Let's see. So let's put you right there. Let's get my Excel sheet up there. And yeah, so I haven't updated these yet, the Facebook ones yet, but I just updated the Instagram one. So I'm getting let's see, this might be too much with this screen. Let's do that. So cost per wedding response. Let's see. Wait, what? Why is that 2? Oh, something got messed up here. I extend this over. There we go. It's actually the cheapest cost per verified wedding lead, someone that actually sends me their wedding date and venue. And then I was also looking at when we go over to the Facebook side in a second, I did notice there's a metric on there of how many people are blocking you. And I realized that the Facebook ones, they are blocking me a lot more. Getting a lot of people that are just completely blocking me.
Okay. That's okay. I wouldn't stress about that too much.
Okay. But yeah, the main thing is right now I'm still not I'm getting even people that are
I'm digging the numbers. You're $15 per DM versus 30, $27. This is really healthy, really good numbers.
Yeah. Again, so as far as these go, I don't know for certain. Well, I just basically I had a total of 5 of these, and so I don't know which one of these came from which ad set. All I can tell is that it's from Facebook. So this might be 5 and 1, or it might be 3 and 2, 2 and 3. I don't know exactly. So I don't know exactly. I guess the average of these would be 40. right? From Facebook.
Um, okay, let's have a look at your ads. Let's just I'm just curious kind of what it looks like actually.
Yeah, so this is the Instagram. It's basically this. One thing I did do differently, I don't know if this would have a huge effect, is I basically just looked up like the rich zip codes nearby and I added those in a very small like area. Just curious and be like, if I, the only thing the only way I'd know if this did anything is if I end up happen to booking, one of those
It does
areas. But
makes a big difference for sure.
yeah,
So if you're
but
doing
the,
that versus the Facebook, you're not doing that, I would say that's a very important variable. That's for sure.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted to, because like it's not adding a ton of people to it, so it's hard. I don't know if it would if I'd be able to tell if it's doing much right in this stage, like where I'm trying to get to I'm just trying to get to more discovery calls at this point. Trying to get them out of the DMs and onto a call. But yeah, and then targeting is basically the same here. It was just advantage plus audience seems to be working.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, sometimes when you know the rule, if it works,
Yeah.
It's
And
like-
one thing I didn't consider was I noticed two of the Instagram leads I got were actually they weren't getting married themselves, they were mothers, and it was like, hey, my daughter is getting married. And so I'm wondering if that's what the advantage is picking those up would they normally wouldn't be picked up in the regular targeting.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that you mentioned that. It's possible. I have had I have seen moms come through and actually like end up closing. So that's actually like not, yeah, that's actually a pretty cool thing. So if you have the moms coming in, because sometimes even the mom's the one that's like paying.
Yeah.
So okay. Can you keep scrolling through and then I want to check out the creative.
Creative should be about this should be basically I mean, it's the same video. I think I might have done a crop on it or something. And then yeah, videos playing right over there. Then
I see. So basically what you've done is you've taken the exact same our Facebook strategy and you've just done it to Instagram. So you haven't modeled um what's his name? Alexander stuff. Remember that stuff? So Alex, okay, got it. So we're basically just taking Facebook and just doing on Instagram the exact same. Okay, fair.
I didn't want to trying to change as few variables as possible.
Good. Yeah, no, looks great. So let's look back at your Excel and just kind of see where you are overall with things. So
I would say cost per like DM for like qualified DMs is looking great here with the Instagram ones. I'm at $27 per like verified wedding, which is good compared to like average of $40 for the Facebook ones. The problem is I haven't booked a single discovery call this last week from all those.
So we've booked a total of 6 discovery calls. You've had 4 discovery calls so far, 2 sales calls. Cost per sales meeting. Okay. So you spent a total of 672?
Something's not adding up here, no, because I've spent more than that. If I go back to here, yeah, I must have missed adding. We must have missed a week or something, maybe. Let's see, because if I go to there, let's just look in. I think in the last, let's do in the last. No, I can't do the last 30 days. That won't be accurate. Let's do the last, 14 days, maybe. So in the last 14 days, I've spent about 600. So maybe that is closer. Yeah.
Okay. And then go back to your Excel really quick. So 600 is the last week. You spent $600 the last week.
$60. No, this is the total. This is the average from all of the since February 15th.
That's the total or that's the average?
Or sorry, yeah, that's the total. That's
Okay.
the average, yeah.
So if we were to, so it looks like it's so if we were to include March 10th to all that, what would that number be?
Looks like 210, 220, 320. So about half that's from the last week.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, your cost per click, your cost per lead, everything's fine. Your cost per get the discovery call, cost per live discovery calls booked. So you definitely want to like we definitely want to update the ad spend number total. So if you double click on ad spend, the ad spend one, the seven, yeah, because it's not showing all the.
Oh, I see. I see what it's doing. Okay. Yeah,
You wanna-
that's
What you want to do is you want to go to the G and just replace that with the C. So you have to always do this. The way I've set it up, you have to constantly update this column, by the way.
okay.
And so now you,
Yeah, it's about 1,000.
so if you double check like all like the CPM clicks, everything just really quick.
Uh, Wait, CPM. Oh, the CPM. We got to do that for that one too. Let's see.
Just go and double click it.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You have to do that every single time you put in a new column. You have to do that.
Gotcha.
That should be fine. For DMs, want to double check that one. Yeah. Double check the responses.
So,
The call right above, where it says 11. Double click that. Update that one. Yeah.
there we go. So cost per winning response is 50. And we'll update that. That's not going to change.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, so cost per sales meeting booked is that's close to like what it should be for like cost per close. That's the one that's real out of whack.
yeah, you're the bottleneck that we're having right now is getting people from the DMs to a phone call.
And I also tried starting to send voice notes. I just started doing that a few days ago, so haven't seen any results from that yet.
Can we maybe like go through a few conversations and maybe I can see if there's any like glaring issues or not? Have you noticed any ads pop up from other wedding filmmakers, by the way?
Wedding filmmakers?
So like
I don't use Instagram or social media. Yeah, that might be a problem for me.
no, it's okay. The reason is what's brewing in my head is I'm gonna probably click around and kind of just see what some other people are saying like in their DMs. So like Alex Moss people, for example, and see if they're doing anything different than us.
Mm.
To see if maybe there's any glaring issues. Just kind of compare. Because as I look at your numbers, it's a little bit odd. Converting from the discovery call to like a book discovery call. But yeah, go ahead and click on a few and then we can kind of maybe go through them. Some that are like not like the ideal. You're like, hey, Kaushik, this should be going through. It's not going through. Okay, so I need a photographer.
It's most of them I just don't even know. They're just ghosting me. So like this one, it looks like we haven't. What is this? What? That is obnoxious. What? What? There we go. This one, I need a photographer. I was just asking their venue. They were looking for a photographer. I was going to try to get him to talk so I can, before I drop in, like, hey, I don't do photography. They haven't seen this one yet. Let's see if we could find someone that's viewed it. That person didn't know what was going on.
So let's just slow it down. Let's go back to the first one.
Oh,
so I need a photographer. I need a photographer that's not too expensive. I'm on a budget. So I think so. There's something that I wish Mason was here right now, but he talks about like the RAQ method,
mm-hmm.
which is like I forget what it stands for, but in short, what it is like you ensure that they feel like they're being heard. So uh, repeat back to them what they say, acknowledge what they said, and then ask a question. Boom, that's what it was. Repeat
One
back.
second. One second. Boop. Okay, RAQ. So repeat, ask question.
So repeat, acknowledge, question.
Oh, repeat, acknowledge, question.
So when I look at something like this, if we consider that framework, it's like, hey, I need a photographer, somebody that's not expensive. So what I would do is you would want to, if I were you, I'd try to maybe repeat things back to him. It's like, um, yeah, I to copy, yeah, totally understand that you want a photographer, something that's within your price range. Um, that's something we can definitely discuss with you. Can I get your wedding date and venue? Do you see how that's a little bit different? Repeat,
Yeah.
and that's going to allow you. So the thing is, like, maybe she has seen it, and it just shows you that she had. You know, some people can do that. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm,
That like with
yeah.
her response, it was so abrupt or aggressive, or you know what I mean? Like it's not because
Autistic. That's how I'd put it. Oopsies. Forgot.
because of the art, it's like maybe she just like, I'm peacing out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. The framework, I think, is that might, if I can just think of it in terms of a framework, I think that might help because I have no intuition on how to do how to do this. I'm guessing now that you say that, that's like just how I like message people usually. It's like very, very direct. So
So let's go to the next person, maybe.
let me find one that no, that was just saying she was looking for her sister and they found one. Yes, just a non-lead, not interested. No. Also, I'm not sure what these are. I don't know. I have no idea where this message is like coming from. This isn't one of the ones I set up, which was kind of confusing. I think this is something I set up on Facebook Messenger like many years ago of like, oh wait, no, we want to follow. Do you have any questions? Oh no, this is okay. No, this is one I set up with the weddings, but it doesn't have the first message that's supposed to go through of like, hey, can you send me your wedding venue? Are they seeing that first message at all, or is it just not showing up for me?
I don't know, honestly. I'll be honest with you. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
Mm. Yeah, because it's supposed to send them that first message. This person just said what? So
The difference between qualified and intake is are there qualified people that
qualified people are just people like this person right here. I would say is like I'm calling like verified wedding. That's like the cost per verified wedding is like do they send a wedding date or venue?
see?
So
So
this is like
basically, what I was referring to is like on your columns, you have an intake and you have qualified. That's what I was asking. What's the difference between like how you're defined?
oh up here yeah. I haven't been using this very much, but these were people that I think were just responding. So they were like verified wedding and they were responding to messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we look at Jen Knight, she gave you the date, and then from there, um, you sent a voice note. So can I ask why you sent the voice note?
And what was that?
Can I ask why you sent the voice note? What was going on in your head in terms of like the strategy here?
Yeah, just like more personal here, being able to hear someone's voice versus just like you don't really ever know who's like texting like on a messenger. It's just I don't know, it felt more personal. I thought like maybe you'd get a better response rate.
Okay. A little tip I'll give you about voice notes. I have tried that, and what I've come to find is I don't know, this could be in my head, but it's like I feel like sometimes whenever you get like a phone call, just in this day and age, you're looking at it, you're like, "Ah, I don't hop on a call. I would just want to text this person." You ever
Mhm.
feel that way?
Oh yeah, I hate talking to people on the phone unless it's something I actually am like trying to do like quick.
So what I've come to find is I like to tell people, and you'll notice my voice. If you look at our very first message, my very first message to you was, "Hey, Robin, is it cool if I drop you a voice note?"
Oh, ask him first. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do it, it can, yeah, it can be, I don't know how to explain it, but I always just ask for permission and it works way better. So it's kind
Okay.
of like a micro commitment.
Yeah.
So if I were you, I would have led with, awesome, Jen. Could you tell me really quick what you're looking for in your wedding video? Or whatever the script is I have. I don't have it memorized. And then
Yeah.
from there, if they don't respond, then from there, I would maybe send, no.
Okay.
Or for the strat, right? And the purpose, and even before I drop the voice note, I think what I would do is I would just say, "Hey Jen, just following up. Is it cool if I drop you a really quick voice note?" And then if they say yeah, then I'd maybe drop the voice note. Um, but if they don't respond to your first message, I don't know if it's likely that they would respond anyways to that message.
Yeah.
But okay, cool. So that's that one.
This one I was confused about. I was like, just wanted to share your business. So maybe
Yeah.
this was like a bot or something. Let's see. I guess it's time for a renewal. Um, accidentally clicked while watching a video. This was okay. So this one was yes, Pensacola Beach. Sent this one. I don't know if she's. I don't see that she's seen any of these. Yeah, I don't see her bubble there. Read, proceed.
Okay. Um, okay. Let's keep going. I don't see anything wrong with that one, by the way.
Mm.
Seems like they're not responding. I reached out about this. So why don't we go through maybe some of are these like, you're kind of going chronological order, I would assume.
Mhm.
Why don't we go to maybe the newer ones?
Well, the newest ones would have been these up here. We already went through those that were the newest.
Okay.
The ones that I guess well, what it yeah, I think these are chronological. I think these are like by yeah, the ones that I've responded to most recently. And then like I haven't been moving these over. And then like this one, huh, hi. I'm like, hey, were you interested? Yeah. I'm like, hey, can you tell me? And then just nothing. Um, this one, yep, just also ghosting. This one I just followed up with. This is one that I had a discovery call with. And she wanted me to wait until she said the only day that worked for her is Friday. Couldn't get her on a call last Friday, so I'm gonna try one more time to get her like on a call this Friday, on a sales call, but might be she's not responding to anything there.
Okay.
Do, 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 do.
That one is fine, by the way. Like, yeah. What's going on here?
And the number. Yeah, this one I tried. She never got back to me with a time.
Okay,
Oh wait. Yeah, she was like saying she gave me a couple of times, and then I tried calling a few times, like over a course of a few days, and never got a pickup.
okay. That's fine. So, I mean, I'm not seeing like huge red flags. There's some smaller things that we talk about, like the RAQ framework and so smaller things like that. But for the most part, it just seems like you're not getting the best responses, and that's not your fault.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't think there's nothing necessary that you're doing wrong. It's unusual. What I will say, it's unusual. I am scratching my head. I want to admit to you, I'm scratching my head. I'm kind of like a little bit perplexed as to like what's going on here.
That is interesting because honestly, this has been my whole experience with ads. This is basically, I mean, this is better actually than what I did with my Google ads, but I've just gotten used to like people that I don't know. It's like I don't understand why they click on it, why they like reach out. It's like I don't know. People that respond to ads are just I don't understand them.
No, that's you get some weirdos, but you don't get this many weirdos. The amount of weirdos that you're getting is not normal.
Mm.
So I would say let's see what's goes on with Instagram ads just kind of keep it pumping for a little bit and then revisit here in a week's time and then make a choice from that point. I would say let's let it run for a little bit longer. Let me sleep on it as well. I do want to sleep on it as well. Because honestly, I'm kind of scratching my head right now. I'm like, usually the worst, something that's extremely frustrating to me is like, oh, dude, the leads are shit. The leads are bad. And it's like, in your case, they actually are pretty bad, and they're not necessarily the best leads.
Wait, do
right?
the what?
Like, so when people say in sales, when clients and people in sales say, hey, the leads are shit,
Oh yeah.
very frustrating because it's usually not the leads, but in your particular case,
It's like, yeah, if they're not responding to like the message at all, like even if like I guess I'm making progress because I'm at least getting some that are like, here's my wedding date. You know, that was progress. But now it's like, okay, they give me their wedding date and they don't respond to anything else.
Um, what I would say is there are a few times I've seen you kind of deviate away from the exact script, which is like they give you the wedding day. It's like awesome. Looks like I'm available that day. Like pretty much just copy and paste into a T instead of like throwing in a voice note or like changing the messaging. That's what I would encourage you to do. Again, it could make a significant difference. It could not, but that would be my only advice to you that I'm seeing.
You're saying to go off the script is what you're saying? Try new things?
No, what I'm saying is stick to the script unless you have somebody that throws you a curveball. So
Mhm.
stick to the script for the most part. So like for example, sending voice notes and this and that, I would refrain from that for the time being. Now, if they say something to you that's off the script, then I would say use the RAQ framework.
Mm.
So that's kind of I think those are maybe the big piece of advice I can give you.
Okay.
Yeah. Aside from that, that's pretty much all I've got. And just looking at the numbers here in a week's time, or just like keeping me posted throughout this week, I would say.
Yeah.
Aside from this, what else is going on in terms of the ads? I mean, I feel pretty caught up to speed with the ads. What else is going on with you?
I don't know. That was about it with the ads. What I've been doing a little bit, focusing on this last week is I got to finish some stuff up tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll get a deal booked with that permanent makeup client to do some new work for her. And I'm pretty sure we're going to book something. I'm trying to move it from like a one-off thing because she wants some like a bunch of like e-commerce photos right now. And she like literally already gave me the products, right? So we just gotta close a deal on them. Like she's pretty much set on me doing them. So it's like I'm probably gonna close a deal with that. Hopefully, I'm gonna try to push her to like, hey, can we do like a retainer? Because she also wants to do like product videos just a little bit down the line. Can also throw in like, hey, we can go in and do more testimonial videos like we did before, and work something out there. And then also reach back out to since it's summer, it's springtime now. The AC company I worked for before, I'm reaching out back to them, see if we can get a meeting to try to do some more videos with them as well. I feel like I probably could, looking back, like I like the AC company I had. Like I initially started off with them doing like had like a $2,000 a month retainer to just do like one like video shoot day and like minor editing per week. So we only did a few videos, but like but like back then I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to get like 10 of these because I had all that debt. And I was like, my break even for like business expenses and like paying my bills is like 10 grand a month right now with like all the debt payment I'm making, my student loans and like the business expenses and all that. And then now I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just get him to start back on that 2 grand a month, that's like all my personal bills for the month. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, why have I not reached out to him sooner to try to get something like that going again? So hopefully we can do something like that.
What else is going on? Specifically, when I asked that question, and thank you for filling me in on that, is on the wedding side. In terms of the wedding side, what else?
Yeah, wedding side. I actually did get a I was there's like a local thing we do in Mobile called Art Walk, and I got the email. I know we weren't doing the LGBT weddings, but I did get the contact information from someone there that like there was like a whole pride like organization, and I was going to reach out to them and see if they had any ins. And so sent an email out this morning, and so hopefully I'll hear back something from there. Posted some more in groups, and then anything else? I do need to follow up with the wedding vendors. I need to. It's been a few days since I've done that. So
Anything with the groups? Any traction?
Mm-mm.
No? Same old, same old.
Same old, same old.
And then what's the vendors is just wait, you just have to do a follow-up on them. It sounds like
Yeah, I got to do a follow up on the vendors.
cool. Anything else? Anything else that
Yeah, I think that is about it.
okay. Did you, I believe we spoke about posting on Craigslist and stuff like that. Did you get a chance to?
I've not done. Did that get taken off my? Where is it? Oh dang! It just got moved. It was at the bottom. I didn't see it. It was at the bottom of my. I'm moving that to the top of my to do list now. It got mixed up with some lower priority stuff.
How many groups did you try posting in?
Can't remember. It was just it was a few, like 3, 4 maybe.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. So what's burning your head right now? Like, what do you think the big levers are? What do you think we need to focus on?
I think getting the ads is really what I want to lead more into. Yeah, just trying to because I'm making that's the thing that I'm making progress in. That like I'm seeing the needle move is okay. We got ran ads, we got views, day one, and then it's like okay, now we're getting some DMs, and okay, now we're getting some DMs from people that actually have weddings. So it's just how do we get people to respond to DMs? So it's like yeah, I have a narrow problem to solve versus like I'm just like throwing stuff out into the wind and not getting any results. And I'm like, okay, there's like 50 things I could change here.
Okay, so what else is top of mind for you then? I agree with that. Like definitely we're pushing further and further along. Every single week we seem to be moving further and further along for ads. Um, what else do you feel like could be like big needle movers for us?
Hmm. I don't know. I think that's the main thing. I think the next biggest thing would be the vendors. Like I had that good conversation with one vendor that in terms of like getting like some quick like weddings booked. Not sure about that. I think the long term also is like the vendors, but I think the vendors is going to be like I've got to get stuff booked first and then network on the wedding day. Um, I feel like the vendors aren't going to take a random person seriously. Like they meet vendors every single weekend, right? I'm not going to take any sort of priority. I don't think in terms of like they're going to refer to me when they know 20 other people, like 20 other videographers that or whatever that they have worked with personally that they would know that they would want to recommend. And so I think that's going to be a matter of like getting onto the weddings.
Have you spoken to any photographers or videographers? I know that's something we were talking about or brainstorming about. It's not,
Mm-mm. No, but I don't think I added that to my to-do list, and that's probably why it did not get done. So reach out to photographers slash videographers. Okay, added that one to the to-do list.
I think one thing you could do is idea is if you reach out to go through as many photographers as possible and say, hey man, here's who I am. I'm trying to set my foot in through the door. Obviously you gotta get a conversation started with them first. You can't like go heavy in the DMs. It's gonna overwhelm them. But the idea is once you get a hold of them, I think the messaging is, hey, look, here's who I am. I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm trying to get back into weddings. I was kind of doing corporate and this and that. Here's some of my work. My offer to you is I'd love to come in there and just help you out and just be the video guy. I know you've got clients that you're doing photos for. I will happily go in there and just do the video for free just to build a relationship with you and build a relationship with those people. So if you have people that don't have a videographer yet, I can go and do that. So it's kind of like you're getting, and then from there, that I think that's what I would do if I were you. So leveraging a bunch of photographers. If you leverage videographers, I
Maybe
don't.
like second shooter.
But the thing is, here's the great thing. So here's why I like the photographer idea. Let's say you go in there and you get to be the videographer, right?
Mhm.
Now, is it possible for you to have a bunch of cards or like a QR code or something to scan and you interact with all those guests there?
Mm, yeah.
There you go. So now you have a bunch of leads. And the thing is, you're not going to step on the photographer's toe because that's a photographer and you're a videographer.
Yeah.
Versus, let's say you had a videographer, you go as a second shooter, you can't really promote yourself to these other people because you're taking his business.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So I
Yeah.
think
I never thought that seems like so simple. Just like go ask the bride, hey, who here is like on your like guest list is like currently engaged? Like they're literally right there. Just go start a conversation.
step one is get photographers. So use them, I would say would be a potentially like treat them kind of like, you know how you're trying to do this vendor thing? It's
Yeah.
like,
Just do the same thing. Yeah.
so that use the photographer, get in with them, use as many opportunities there to promote yourself to the guests there,
Mm.
as well as, of course, the vendors. So that would be a move that I would make if I were you. I may sound like a broken record, but I do think Facebook groups is like hitting it harder. I really do think it's. I know it could be feel. To me it almost sounds like it feels discouraging to you. Where like, hey, I'm not seeing the needle move. I get it. Like I see the needle move with ads. I don't see the needle move there. All I can tell you is I feel I have conviction there,
Mm.
uh, and I think it's worth doing. I'm not going to push you to do it, but I do think it's worth doing. We've got the Craigslist that we can still do. Those seem to be like the big needle movers. for
Yeah.
now.
Try that. I still have skepticism about Craigslist. I'm like, I just can't imagine anyone that's like got like looking to spend a $2,000-3,000 on a wedding video is going to be going to Craigslist. I
Yeah,
feel like Craigslist is like where you go if you want a $500 wedding.
I've done a few weddings when I first got started from Craigslist, and with the price point that they had, it usually wasn't like 2, 3 grand. You're right. And so what I would do is CMJ. What I would do is I would offer to shoot videos for them.
Mhm.
I would offer to give them the footage for that. And so I was able to do
Mm.
that. So that was a really good deal. So it would be like $700 or something like that for a bunch of like
Oh, for like shooting only?
just shooting.
Mm.
And then what I did sometimes is I just for me, I did this for me for my own promo, is I would like after the wedding, I would put together a little teaser, not because they asked me, it was kind of a surprise. I would send it to them and they would be blown away. And then that would lead to an upsell.
Oh, and then sell them the editing after. Yeah.
So I
And
would
dude, I
yeah,
actually found, I don't know if I told you the last time, I found a wedding editing service. It's like one of these video editing services, but that's all they do is weddings, and their stuff like pretty good, and it's like so cheap too. Like a highlight, like a 5 minute highlight reel with audio is like $550.
okay.
And that's like, well, I'd usually spend a week on one of those. Um, and so like, yeah, I think a teaser reel is like 150, $200 to have
Yeah.
met at one of those. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we can talk about it when the time when you get to that point. You just gotta be careful, you gotta be careful because some of these companies they got a bunch of editors in the Philippines and India, and you don't know if you're gonna
Yeah.
get
Oh, I'm sure that's how they work. I want to test them out at least. There's actually I just reached back out to another bride that's got a wedding like next month. I wasn't thinking like of like this was one of the first ones I got. And I didn't think like, hey, I just want to do a quick wedding to get my portfolio up. I didn't like realize that her wedding was so close. And so I went back to her. I'm like, hey, I'm training a new editor. Would you be interested in like a discounted wedding video?
yeah.
So waiting to hear back from her because I think I quoted her like 3,200, and I'm like, hell, dude, I'll just like, if I can $1,500 and I'll pay 500 to the editing company.
Yeah.
At least something to just get me some more money to pay for more ads for the time being. So I could, at that point, I'd at least break even with the ads.
No, it's worth testing for sure. But yeah, those are the few things, man, that I feel like we can work on this week. Um, Aside from that, I'm gonna brainstorm a little bit, and think on this conversation, kind of what I've seen from the ads, and I'll get back to you probably tomorrow with some more thoughts. Um, Aside from that, that's all I've really got for you, Robin. What's burning in your head, man?
What's burning in my head is I'm going to go eat some curry and go to sleep.
What kind of curry?
Oh, it's my I basically I don't know if I told you this. I eat the same meal twice a day. And I've been eating it for like I don't know. This one's been like 6 months. Some like every like 6 months or a year, I might like change it up to a new meal that I'll eat twice a day every day. But this one's chickpeas and paneer. It's like Indian cheese. And it's real good. Just do that, make a big pot of it, and then I prep the rice every like 3 days, and then
Yeah.
just eat that twice a day. It's so good.
Why I'm not judging or pushing. I'm just curious, like, why do you do that?
Why do
Like,
I what eat the same thing or make the curry specifically?
yeah, no, why do you eat the same thing twice a day? That, yeah. I'm just
I don't know, dude. It's just like it works. It's like I don't know. It makes it so easy to like eat healthy stuff. It's like because one, it's like the meal prepping is the main thing, but it's also just easier to cook. And it's like I don't know, it tastes good. It just never gets old. I think it's an autistic thing, to be honest. That's like that's a very common thing. Like the stereotype is like autistic people just like mac and cheese and chicken nuggets, and they just like eat that every day. I like other foods, but like I've always done that. Like there was a period where I did like Chick-fil-A for like 6 months. That's like I would just eat that twice a day. And then like had a red beans and rice recipe. I would eat that one twice a day. It's just like it's just it's easy. It's good. It's like you
Oh,
always eat healthy.
I'm the same. I eat the same thing pretty much every day as well. So
There
I
you
get it.
go. It's
Oh,
good.
interesting. Cool. Very cool. All right, man. Well, anything else you want to chop it up about, Robin?
I think that's it.
Cool, man. Well, I will sleep on it, and like I said, I'll be in touch with you, okay?
All right. Catch you later. Bye.
Um, I'm on cam, righteous. Hope you guys are all doing well. Who do we got next? Mr. Aman.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man? We're
What's going on?
testing out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, the test a lot of ads. Not a lot, but test a lot of ad spend on ads. So just gonna see what's working out there. Yeah, I guess do you have any thoughts so far based on what I have written so far?
So I skimmed it. So far I have found the cost quiz performs better in bigger cities. Okay. I tried the cost quiz in an area using the rank method and it bombed. So I did read this and I was wondering what that meant. I'll circle back to that one. Test a
Yeah.
smaller I know what the winning ad went from 25, 15 mil cost went to 20. Okay. Testing new creatives that was my winning video in a three-way grid that had two photos that didn't do well. Okay. So yeah, it just looks like you're focusing on service delivery and like seeing how do I bring my costs down? How do I just get better overall? Um, and I guess that's fine. I don't really have thoughts other than kind of like my voice note to you a few days ago, where I'm like seeing how it's drastically different from location to location. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess what's this?
So remember how I said I was gonna use the rank and rent method to find a low or like a low competition area? So I found one that like really fit the description. I was like, okay, this seems like it'd be the perfect spot because it didn't seem like it'd be a lot of competition. My assumption was, okay, I'm gonna get cheaper cost per leads there. And it was like the opposite. I got like suit like it was like one lead came in after $70. Um
How
and
do you
so
how do they define like a good location or whatever? Like, can you give me like a quick bullet point synopsis
yeah,
of
let
what that means?
me here I have my notes here. I'll be able to kind of okay, so there's a few things. One is monthly searches. So when I like actually like look up something like I was painting Lando. Um this thing is about to expire. It's like the pro version that was on trial for, but I'll have it for a few more days. But basically this has 90 monthly searches, but it should be like over 100. So 90 is not too bad, but sometimes it says 0. So that's one thing. Another thing is do the do like some of the do a lot of the companies on here, do they have more than 10 reviews? So like this obviously a lot of these are like in the hundreds, but the other one was like probably like 8 to 13, 8 to 20. So like that's a lot lower than what I have been seeing. So I was like, okay, that looks good. Um Also, are a lot of the top searches here, is it like Yelp? Is it like Angie's List where it's like a list of like different ones, or is it like actual websites that are local? So this is like Orlando Painting Company. Like, but if it was like the top results were like this and some of the list websites, then that shows that there's not many people ranking. But like in this case, it seems like there's quite a bit of people who was this looks like a list one, but no, this is a website. So yeah, now we know a lot of people are ranking here. There's also another one where you copy it, you paste it into a website, and if it has a number less than like 10, then it's good. But if it's above 10, then I don't know what it means, but I just kind of followed it. Um, and then low content on page. So if you click on the pages and there's not that much content, it's not like articles or like long content form on there, then it's probably, that's good because it means that they're not really optimized for SEO. So it's just those things that I looked at.
So it seems like when they're doing these searches, this is giving you ideal criteria to go in there and to do a rank and rent. It's to
Right,
a search based intent people. Like I'm sorry, search
right.
intent, leads, and a location. So how many times did you repeat this once or just did you do it just once or multiple times?
Just once on the ads, when I actually like launched an ad. So
So the
I
idea
just
is like, hey, if people are searching a lot and there's a lot of people in Bofu, then if I run Facebook ads, which is tofu, my ads should pop up. That was the idea, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like if a lot of people are searching, but there's not a lot of competition, I assume, okay, if I run my ads there, it would crush it.
Hmm.
But yeah, it could be the ad, like, from what I saw from that one competitor, he seemed like, hey, because it was a higher income, we weren't focusing on a deal, we were focusing on, just getting the quote. Whereas so I was just trying like different angles. So like um
The
let me
the the ads that did work well. So what locations did the ad work really well? So was that Orlando, Florida that you just showed that didn't work?
No, well, I just showed you for Orlando, Florida, but the one that I actually did for was called Costa Mesa, in California.
So what locations have you ran ads for that were like work really well?
I've done three so far, so not that many. So I did Atlanta, which did well with the cost quiz. And then Houston looked promising for the cost quiz. I was getting about 20. I got two for like 20 or like three for 20 or something like that. So I shut it off because I haven't hooked anyone yet. And then I did the Costa Mesa. And then what I found was the two big cities, the paint quiz one worked. And then for the Costa Mesa, what brought it down to like 36 um was doing an angle of kind of just like what I saw from the competitor, which was um something like this, which is like, hey, last year we transformed, claim your free quote plus $750 off. So it's not that much data I have. But I was just kind of testing. I was like kind of waiting and then stop it, launch a different angle. I also want to test um
Why not? So let's say you have a state and then we have a location that like it pops off really well, like Atlanta. Why
uh
not go like just a few miles over and test that?
yeah, I can. Um, One thing I was just learning today in a school group that he like helps you set up campaigns for painters. I think they do like seven figures in their agency. Is that he gets very specific with his targeting. So like he does like a suburb and then he calls out the suburb. So when I was doing Atlanta, I was getting pretty good results. And then one of the guys I hooked was in a place called Smyrna. And because I transferred the lead over and he was out of it, I wanted to get him like a good one. So I tried to run one in Smyrna. It wasn't doing that well. But the way he does is he doesn't do radius, he just does Smyrna. And then I didn't have my text update, like I just still had it say Atlanta. But I should have had it say like Smyrna cost quiz, right? To be a little bit more specific. So I do kind of want to test that as well. And see if that gets if that gets different results by being even more specific into like the suburb. Um, and then yeah, kind of like you mentioned, maybe test like a little bit away from Atlanta to see how that does. But I was just doing like 25 mile radius in Atlanta.
Yeah. So it seems like a few things. It's like, um, I would, if I were in your shoes, and again, you seem like you're in the mindset of like, hey, I'm just testing stuff out. I'm just trying to kind of make it click for me and just figure this service delivery part out so that once I have a better idea, then I can rest easy about this and I can just focus on hooking the right business owner. I'm not going to be really stressed out because I know the ads will consistently perform. Am I kind of maybe understanding the logic correctly or?
Yeah, just because like I hooked a really good business owner, which I'll give you an update on for him. But I hooked a really good business owner, and then all of a sudden I wasn't getting enough leads. And when I tried to call them, it wasn't like I was doing like as soon as I got a lead, I called them, and I was getting maybe a few people picked up, but then they said to call back later or whatever it was. Um, and so I was like a little bit frustrated because a few days had passed and I haven't given anything. And then that's where I was like, okay, do I need to test different angles? That's when I started testing different angles, and then that wasn't working. So then I just started trying to figure out. That's where I kind of get into the mindset of like, okay, well, I don't want to be getting like $60 leads when I'm trying to hook people because then that's gonna take forever. Like I want to get around 25 ideally. But if I test enough places and I see across the board is like $35 a lead, then it is what it is. And then I just have to kind of adjust to make it up for that. Um, but but yeah, that's kind of where my mind was at. But then I was like, okay, a week has passed and I got some data. I'm pretty happy with like the data I'm getting, but I was like, I kind of want to figure out something with like the owner. So I texted the owner. I'm like, hey, I had to work on some client stuff. Blah blah. Like, I'm gonna be nurturing the leads again this week in Atlanta. Do you want me to reach out to you? And then he was like, yeah, I went out and saw one of the other guys. I'm going to be giving them a quote today. So I would love if you contact me. I was like, cool. I got one lead in today, luckily, and they weren't available for a call, but they said they were texting me, so I just kind of did a warm handoff through text, which worked out. Um, so yeah, at least I'm keeping him warm, and then I'll probably try to give him like one more like real handoff. But like I was kind of stressed out that I was running the ads, I had someone hooked, and all of a sudden it wasn't like coming in, even though if they were coming in, yeah, I was just trying to find something where I can like get better results.
So then if that's the case, I would say I like the idea of you doing what you did for like the hook method, like that logic makes sense. And if I were you, maybe I would do it like one, two more times to confirm. And then
Yeah.
another test I was like maybe doing the inverse of that, which is like the opposite theory, which is like, okay, if you have a bunch of people that are in Bofu already, then maybe Facebook ads just won't work as well because the people that are interested are already on Google. Just
The
a theory.
people on
So
Google.
so if you find a location like let's just say over Atlanta, Florida, and everybody's on Google looking for painting, then maybe it's less likely that they're going to be on Facebook because they're already on Google.
Right. But like the Costa Mesa one, that one was getting a lot of searches, but not any competitors. So my thought was like, because Orlando and Houston, they're gonna have high searches anyway, because it's just a populated area. But the thing is that there's a lot of competitors as well. So my thought was, well, there's a lot of people who want it, but then there's probably no competitor. So it would be like a Red Sea, or I think that's what.
Yeah. So you're basically looking for like a blue ocean, yeah?
Right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I'm not doing the best in terms of like Voga because I don't know everything about that. What I'm saying is do the inverse as just a test. That's what I would do. I'm just telling you that's what I would do. Is like whatever you're doing, do the opposite of that. So it's like if Misa Costa is like, oh, this would be perfect for hook the rank and rent. Let me not do that. Let me go to what is saying like, oh, according to the hook method, this would be the worst location. Should I do hook and
Oh,
let me actually
okay,
do that.
okay,
Does that make sense? So
okay.
it's like according to the data, Houston, Texas is the absolute worst. Okay, let's try Facebook ads in Houston, Texas.
Sure. House painting. Um, Houston. Let's see. So this is. I mean, it doesn't have that. It doesn't even have like, or maybe I'll just do like house painting. Houston. Sometimes I feel like it's hard to know. Okay, so 140, good amount of searches. Lots of very high reviews. So this would be like a nightmare, right? To actually do the rank and rent method on. Um,
Exactly. So
looks like
something like this that again, I don't know all the criteria, but let's just say this
right.
criteria is like, hey, this
Yeah.
is terrible for rank and rent. Maybe try Facebook ads and see if maybe the inverse comes to be true.
Technically speaking, Atlanta and Houston has given the most promising results, and they would probably they wouldn't seem like they would be, right? So it's probably not just a big city thing, but it could be something like this where it's like just something like what you just mentioned. So I can definitely try that. I do really want to try like this guy's copy because he has like a whole document here. He has a Canva template. So I just want to try it, like just imitate him and test it as well, see how it does. Um, he doesn't have the thing, but I could just copy and paste whatever he did. But he said he had a link on here. But
How did you find this
so
guy?
yeah,
You found them off of YouTube or okay.
no, I just went on school, was just trying to see if there's anybody here, and just saying just saying his introduction and like his his background on it. He just seemed like a promising, seemed like he knew what he was doing. So
Cool.
I figured. But yeah, I'll keep doing that, but I think I'm still gonna try to pursue like the sales calls, like and not stop that, but I'll still probably be testing on the side. Hoping I can that guy.
You can look this up.
Um,
Listen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just gonna mute you. Never mind.
sorry, dude. I'm on an iPad. I'm literally struggling right now. But I'm here.
You're okay. You're okay. Okay, cool. But yeah. So I guess like what aside from this, I mean you can keep going by the way if there's more you want to share. My next question to you was just going to be like, okay, overall, what's brewing your head? What's kind of going on? What's your thought process? Where do you pivot from here? Or that's kind of what my next question was going to be.
so those two questions I wrote down, because I remember when Cam was like showing some of his client stuff for like home contractors, I noticed that his like you would change out your ads a lot. And I know like for med spas, I would set up something, launch it, and I wouldn't even have to touch it for like a few months. I'm just wondering, Cam, in your experience, do you feel like there's a lot of iterating on winning ads, or is that like just something that you do just for the sake of your like I'm just kind of curious if that's a thing in this industry.
Like
And
you
I
mean like duplicating ad sets and stuff? Usually like my thing was I would have like a winning ad that would get a lot of results. Then I would duplicate the ad set until like it just dies down permanently. And then I would switch out the ad for another ad. And then I think I think in this whole time that I've been doing this, I have two ads that work. And then I lose the client. So but yeah, and then like yeah, so duplicate the ad set, duplicate the ad. I just keep doing that until the results die down, then I change the ad, and then I just repeat duplicating the ad set until the ad dies. But right now, recently, that was with the $249 offer, so same ad, same everything, and I recently changed the offer from $249 to $97 for a client that's willing to do that because they can sell when they're in the home better. And that ad is like I think this is a bit different. I was going to talk to Kaushik about this, but the offer change has made it so the ad is not really fatiguing at all. Um, I can read you. So 150 leads, and it's been like a month and maybe a few days, I'd say. 150 leads at $15 per lead, which is ridiculous. And it just keeps going up. Like the leads keep coming in. Um, but the $249 offer would have died like 2 weeks ago. And it could be a location thing, but I doubt it
right.
because
So
it's
that's
just such a
like
drastic difference.
yeah, I feel like that's
Yeah.
been my experience with like med spas where I do like a really good offer, And so what I'm thinking is like, okay, do I need to change my thought process in terms of how I run these ads? Because if I'm doing kind of like a more like safer style ad or like quiz funnel thing, like is it gonna be a thing where I need to have like 10 backup creatives always ready or like or go through a process where I'm constantly duplicating ad sets? Because usually like again for the med spa stuff, I didn't even have to touch my ads. Like once something was winning, it was like I don't even think about it for like a month or two. Um and so yeah, that was just mine.
I think that's wrong. I think if you hit a I think if you have a really this goes back to my voice note where I kept talking about like having a really good offer, really good thing. Like if you have a really good ad offer and you're in a good location, I think the idea is that you should be able to cruise control for a long time. And then the moment and sooner or later it will get expensive. And then from there you're doing that thing of that cam song like constantly duplicating until it eventually dies down. And I was laughing was as Cam was talking, because like what we would do is he would duplicate like 3 times and then nothing would happen 3 times. And the fourth duplication that worked. And then he would let that run for like 2 weeks and then that stopped working. And then he would duplicate. And then we found like a golden pocket. So I feel
Right.
like that's kind of like when you come to like the tail end of something working.
Right.
Yeah, and one thing to add on to that is I found it pretty crucial to pay attention to when it is working, what your cost per lead is, so that you know if you found a good pocket or not. So if it goes to like $2 above that, you can immediately know to switch the pocket of fish instead of just I'll give it another couple days. But like if you, I think you only need like a day or so to know that it's not a good pocket, just based off what you know is ideal. Um, I wasted a lot of money just yeah, but.
Do you find that like there's a trade-off where okay, you're spending a lot more time on looking at the ads and stuff, but then your guys are typically a lot better at getting quotes and like closes and stuff, or um does
Say
that
that
make
again?
sense? Like for me, it's like I can keep an ad running without touching it for like a med spa, but then I have to spend so much more time just trying to get them to do the right things to nurture the leads properly.
Oh
Are
yeah.
you
No, the
spending?
people that I'm running this for right now. I mean, to be honest with you, it's been the fatigue thing. Like, no matter if I get the leads, it's usually just getting the leads in. After that, people can usually figure it out. But I happen to have like these people that I'm working with right now, and the stats I just told you that I'm running the ads for are they have like 3 people in the Philippines. They got people calling them like 5 times a day. Like they're vicious. So it's just kind of like a win-win that the leads haven't stopped yet. Um, but yeah, not really. Duck cleaning is not, you don't do have to do too much training. If they don't call or text, yeah, you're not going to book a job. But um, yeah,
Okay, I see. Because I'm thinking like, okay, there seems to be a trade-off there, right? So rather than spending so much time trying to get them trained up on doing the right things, they're doing that, but you have to spend more time on the ads. At least that's what I'm seeing right now.
yeah, right now, yeah, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, so I guess like with that being said, Kushik, like with him, like, kind of if that is a thing where um I'm going to be spending more time in the ad campaigns, kind of figuring out like metrics and stuff like that. My next kind of thought was like, how I mentioned like, oh, I have this old friend. Well, I mentioned two people local. One was like a bigger company that like my sister knows. They're pretty established in the home contracting space. The other one is just like a guy I knew from high school that I kept in touch with. I saw he was doing like exterior painting, and I was just thinking like, oh, I wonder if he has some creatives because he likes to film as well. I was wondering like, oh, I wonder if I can just go like just shoot some clips on my iPhone so I can use my own and then just give him whatever clips I get or something. Just so I can always test, like have some creatives and test new ideas on hand. Just because I don't know how much I want to like keep taking from like other places, not knowing like what the sources are from and stuff. Just wanted to see your thoughts on that. Like I don't have to do anything crazy, like, for him. I just kind of want to see like, hey, if I can go get some clips or have him send me some before and afters that he said I can use, like would that be worth it? Because I feel like that's kind of where my mind is at in terms of oh, I want to test more before and after photos, or I want to test like more time lapses and stuff, or maybe where he's talking to the camera. In the meantime, while I'm like cooking business owners.
Yeah, I mean, that was gonna be you just said like the part that was the concern to me, which is like as long as you can hook business owner, that's the main thing I want to see. I just want to see you and Righteous, and I want to see you guys like hook more business owners so we get more reps in so we can all learn. I can
Yeah.
give I think I said it on the last coaching call. I don't know if I did, but I give my best advice based off of you guys. When you guys go in there and you guys do the reps, that's when I get my juices flowing. I'm like, okay, here's how we do this different. So as long as you guys can do that, then I can help you guys with that. Um, my thing is just
Yeah.
don't get stuck in the weeds of that, Don't get stuck in the weeds.
Yeah, yeah. My biggest priority will make sure that I have like, the business owner hook. Like if I don't have a good one hooked, then I'm gonna be making sure I have another one hooked. I just want to make sure that, I can get them a lead quickly. But it's also kind of like changing the way I'm thinking when I do the hook calls where, rather than, because if I'm saying like, oh, we're gonna guarantee 15 leads in the first month, right? Then it wouldn't make sense technically if like you get like 5 in 1 day, right? So I can just say, hey, like this week I'm gonna be getting new leads and I'm gonna put you on top of the list, or something like that, right? So that way it's, I'm not stressing about the next day or right there that day. Like ideally, yeah, that would be even better. Where I can kind of like under promise, over deliver in that sense. But does that make sense? Where I just like if I can just get them to kind of see like, okay, over the course of the week, I'm gonna be then at least it kind of gives me a little bit of breathing room if I'm spending $30 for a lead or like $40 for a lead.
Um, I'm so like your concern is like, hey, I don't know if I can get them 3 leads in 3 days. Is that what you're saying?
Right, right.
That's interesting. So you're like, hey, look, I'm going to get you some leads. This will be a week-long trial. My goal is to get you 3 to 5 leads. We might get you those 3 to 5 leads here in a day, here in 2 days. It might take us a week, but we're going to get those over too. That's how long the trial is going to be. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah, I'm not even saying like a week-long trial. I'm still gonna say like, hey, I'm gonna do like 2 to 3 leads for you that I'm gonna do a warm handoff for. And they should be coming in. I'm gonna try to get this one person that I talked to yesterday back on, but if not, then you should see over the course of this week, in the next 7 days that you should be getting those calls.
And you're wanting to say that because you're at a phase right now where you still don't know, like, hey, is my cost per release gonna be $20, $30, $50? I really don't know, and I don't want to like stress out and have them expecting one lead every single day. Well, I don't know if I can deliver that yet because I'm still trying to figure
Right.
that. Yeah, dude, that's fine. I think in terms of wording, I like what you said. I think it's just a thing of so I think so if I were you, I think the wording would be, hey, so this is a trial. And what we're doing is we're handing off 3 leads to you over the course of the next few days. So be very specific. So 3 leads. Instead of saying 3 to 5, like Drew said, 3 leads. These are gonna be 3 qualified leads. These are gonna be 3 highly qualified leads. We're gonna go through a bunch of them. We're gonna vet them out and get you 3 really good ones. Again, I'm using a lot of words, but the idea is that. Now, just so you know, in terms of these leads, they just come in when they come in. So they might come in all at once, or it might take over the course of the next few days. But usually this trial is up to 7 days long. Usually it could be 3 to 5 days long. So I just want to, again, I'm not using the best words, but that's the energy you kind of get across to them.
Yeah, and I feel like I could even say because I kind of said this for this guy where I was like, the leads are going to be coming in at any time, and are talking to a few other business owners that we're going to be giving them as well. So, you should be seeing next 3 leads over the next day or so. So I said the next day or so, but I could say within this week. But I don't know if it would be good to mention. But I feel like that would kind of like say like, hey, we're getting a lot of leads, but it may take a while because we're also talking to other people.
So what I think I would do is I feel like it's a little bit messy, just my opinion, is
Okay.
what I would do is I would focus on like, hey, so, and I think the way I would say is I would say in a qualifying way. That's kind of the big thing I'm noticing with you guys, like say in a qualifying, which is like, hey, look, we have these leads come in at all hours of the day, and we can't really control them. So when they come in, we work them, get while they're hot and get them over to you. Is this something you can handle, or are you extremely busy? Like, can we count on you to be able to work these leads? They say, yeah. Okay, cool. So here's what I want you to know. It'll be 3 leads and that we're going to get over to you. We're going to have several leads. We're going to vet them. And out of those leads, we're going to get 3 qualified ones over to you. Okay, that's what the expectation is. Does that make sense, Mr. Business Associate? Okay, so now the other thing I want you to know is that we will some of these leads we can't control when they come in. Sometimes they come in all at once. Sometimes it's spread out over the course of 3 days. Sometimes it takes multiple days. But we will get these 3 leads over to you within probably about 7 days. Again, I don't know exactly when that's going to be. Is that okay? They say, yeah, that's totally fine. I'm got it. Okay. Last thing I want you to know, I do want to be forthcoming with you. The trial that we are running for you right now, whenever we enter into a new market, we do this for 3 business owners at any given time. So, but that's a whole nother thing. I'm accomplishing a different objective. So the objective here is what we just talked about, giving you time and energy and ability to breathe and get the leads over to them so you're not stressing out. The thing that we're talking about the other business owners, the reason we mention that is for FOMO. It's a completely
Yeah.
different objective.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
wouldn't mix and match them.
I see. Okay, cool. I like that. And then should I also kind of mix in what Rivera was saying about the out of the zone? I kind of mentioned that as a comment, and they're just like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that it's not. I think it's again, it's not necessarily so that's like a qual for so you know how you when you were doing your discovery calls, you know how we kept tweaking it over and over based on your niche. That's the same
Right.
thing. Like we're just going to tweak it up based off of your niche. So one of the questions you want to ask for you because we kind of noticed it's important is, hey, what area? I think Drew does say it's like, hey, do you service this area? That's
Okay.
one of the questions he asked. So what you might want to do is, hey, just so once he agrees to the leads and everything, maybe the next part is like, hey, can you work the leads at any hour of the day? They say, yeah, okay. Now the next thing I need to know is what location are you out of range?
Right.
And then from there he'll tell you. It's like, okay, got it. So now I feel like what could be said is that's the part where you can, this gets sloppy, but that's the part where you can say, I do want to be forthcoming with you. We are running this trial for multiple business owners, and that's why I'm asking you, is we want to make sure we select one business owner per location. Now, if it falls out of this location, would you like me to hand the lead off to somebody else? Or would you still like me to give the lead to you? It's getting a little bit messy.
The only thing that could be also messy about that is that sometimes they'll tell me, like a lot of the times when I've been calling these people, they tell me a location and like it wasn't even any of the locations that I was aware of. So I'm like writing it down, but maybe I should have like Google Maps where I have like their location and then I can just type it in real quick, see how far it is. And if it's like, you know, an hour drive, then I'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah, you're not in our area or you are in our area, and then connect them to. But I feel
Yeah.
like it may take to like type in different areas, you know?
You can do it that way, or you can like even just like text a business owner and say, hey, John, hey John, I got a lead out in this location. Is that something that you can handle?
Right.
And they text you back and they say, yeah, I can. And then like, awesome, I got him on the line. You available really quick?
Right.
Could you
Yeah.
ask just for like the radius, Koshik?
That's
Just be
what
like, what do you just being like, I mean, just being very upfront about it. Just being like, hey, typically, if like for example, if they're in Charlotte, right, Carolina, it's like, hey, how many miles do you serve outside of Charlotte and in Charlotte? Like, what's the farthest you guys go typically? Because then they'll just give you, oh, it's typically like I don't know, 45 miles.
Yeah, that's that's what I initially suggested to Aman. The problem that he's saying is, let's say the problem, it's not necessarily a problem, Mason, it's just for workflow, is like, let's say somebody says they can do 10 miles within like Houston, Texas or whatever, and then somebody comes outside of Houston, Texas. Aman doesn't necessarily have Houston, Texas memorized, so he would have to go to Google, do a quick search, see if they're out of the radius and this and that, and then if they are not, then get it over to the business owner. Does that make sense? That's what he was getting at.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like what I was thinking of too is like just from what the school guy was showing in terms of like targeting the suburbs and doing that, maybe I could have like a smaller ad set targeting that, like a smaller budget ad set targeting that, and then see like, okay, if it's doing well, then cool, I'll just kind of like get the leads from that, and then that way there's a higher chance. Because I also feel like it's probably gonna be a low, like it's not gonna be like a common thing, hopefully. But from what I've seen from all the handouts, if it's happened one out of like, 5 or 6. So again, I don't know if it's gonna be that big of a deal. Maybe most people are willing to figure out a way where they can like hire someone else or something. I'm not sure. I think it's maybe a thing where I just have to test it a few times and then just see, okay, this happened 3 times. Now I gotta, you know. Otherwise, I may just try to like write up a script that may cause a lot of confusion, and maybe it was as necessary.
So if we consider the objective of the trial or the 3 days, The objective is to get them to believe that they can make money with us than not with us.
Right. Yeah, what I guess what I said to the person when it was out of the range was I was like, hey, like just because I'm, doing this as a trial or I'm basically just targeting 25 miles in Atlanta. And this is more for us just to kind of just so you can see that these are real leads that, you can build trust with me. And so I'm gonna do my best to just find it, but just know that during this trial, I am targeting kind of like a wider radius, but if we work together, then we'd make sure we target your specific area. But in the meantime, like, what is your?
I understand that. And I used to say something very similar when I used to do trials for people. When I used to do trials, I would say, hey, I know you're in California. I'm going to target all of California instead of just LA because I just want to show you that the stuff works. But I also had like an hour and a half with people and they went through a proper funnel and everything versus you guys are not doing that. And it's like you're calling some dude out of the blue. And it's just, I just feel like it's a different environment. It's a different energy. It's like they, if you just do that to them, they're like, I mean, think about their shoe. They're like, fuck, I gotta give this kid a chance. I don't know if I want to spend my versus somebody else is opting in, going through this funnel, going through all these steps to have a conversation with me. Versus you,
Right.
it's not that way. You're taking somebody's time and energy. So you have to make it as
Right.
convenient as possible for them. So I think the solution is another way to do it is you force them to want to take it. Right now, so one method, so you had method one, which is like, hey, I run the ads to all the state, the entire state, but if we were to work together, I would be honing on you. I don't think that's the move because of what we just talked about. The other option is, hey, we can do the specific radius, tell me what you want to do, but then if it falls outside the radius and the workflow and all that shit, it's not a bad option, but that's an option. I think that's a good option. Option three is to get them to say, yeah, no, give me, even if it's out of my radius, I want to take it. That would make your life easier, I think. And so it's like, hey, John, so what radius do you typically work in? You say this location. Okay, got it. So sometimes we do generate leads that are outside of that radius. Would you, John, like me to, if that were to happen, would you, John, like me to still hand that lead over to you, or would you like me to give that lead to another business owner? Or would you do you, or, and here's kind of a trick, or do you feel like that would be a conflict of interest? Something like that. Now get them to be like, no, go ahead and give me the lead. So if you can bait them into saying that, that makes your life easier.
Right. Right. That's kind of smart. Yeah, because then it gives more chances to like,
Exactly.
you know,
And that's
especially if I bring up the owners, like the three other business owners, and then at the end, maybe right before I got the call, I'd be like, cool, you should be saying leads in the next few days or within this week. One last thing, and then just gonna bring that part up. Then I feel like that's
exactly.
yeah,
Because the goal is the more opportunities that the more chance that they feel like they're going to close a deal and make money, the more like they're going to hire you. So if we remove that from the table from them, that makes it less likely that they're going to believe that they're going to make money with you. Does that make sense? So I think we want to increase the possibility. We want to increase the number of bats that we give them.
right. Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
like that. Because then that way, if I call them with the person out of it, it's not awkward when they're like, oh, when they tell the person no. Like I felt like, oh, that's awkward. Right. It was like, oh, okay, well, I'll get more to you, but I didn't know if it made me look bad. I know if he felt bad, just like not that it was like he said anything, it was just like, oh yeah, I just don't do it that far. I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I'm just targeting a wide radius right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can at least test what you were saying and see how it does.
I really have to sit down and like look at the script and type it out for you guys. Um, so So every single time I talk to you guys, it's like we're constantly making these like small little refinements, like just like right now. And it's like yeah. Um, but anyways, I hopefully righteous and yeah, hopefully righteous you got something from that in terms of what me and Omar were talking about. Um, but yeah, what else is brewing in your head, right? Aman?
One thing I thought about was for like me and Righteous, who's like in the same niche. I wonder, like, let's say, we reach out to, we start scaling, right? And we start, getting other, I start maybe going to his areas, he goes into mine, because we only work with one person in those areas. Like, should we have like a sheet? Like I mean I track mine on my sheet, but like should we have like a shared sheet where if I'm like, doing the same script to a business owner who would have heard it from like Righteous is gonna be like, oh, well, I know it's a very like far off problem right now, but I just, maybe good habits now to like
Yeah, you guys definitely should. Definitely should. You guys definitely should. And I don't know, like depending on how far we do this and how many niches we do, I mean, maybe there'll be some kind of a system where we have like a master Excel sheet for everybody. So everybody knows who's, hey, I spoke to this business owner, let me follow up them. Please don't follow up with them. I have quote unquote dibs on this person or whatever. That might be just healthy for everybody. So we have like a visual for everybody to see who's working what.
yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, could be something in the future. Obviously right now there's so many places to hit. So um
Yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah.
Do what you guys do and then combine, whatever you two want to work out together for now.
Let's picture like the business owner like hearing the same script and be like last time I didn't do anything or like last time I hung up, So but I don't yeah, I'm sure because I track everything on the sheet. So I'll just keep tracking on my end and then, Rush, just if you want to just track like who you called on your end and then probably down the line we can just have a shared Excel sheet.
That'll work. That'll work. I'm keeping track of things on my end too. So that way. That's why I initially reached out to you because I'm like, I gotta leave Columbus. So I wasn't getting any leads here. I was like, I gotta go where it's warmer.
Yeah. Cool.
What else?
I think that's it. I thought there was maybe one more thing, but um no, I think I'm just gonna try keep testing different ads and then in the meantime, hopefully the next day or so. I think I only need to get like one more over to that guy because he already went out to one house and then I texted another lead over.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
first that you did a hook on, did that guy ever go out to any location? He didn't go out, he just like hopped on calls, right?
The very first guy I had a sales call with.
Yeah.
No, that guy went to two places before a sales call and he still was
Oh,
saying, yeah, he went to two places before a sales call, not even just to booked to go out. Like he actually went and met those people and he still was
yeah.
getting cold feet on the 250, which is crazy to me.
So this guy that you have, he went out to one place, not one place so far.
He went out to one place so far. Yeah. And I don't even need them to go out, but I just need him to talk to them and like book it out.
Right? Just how many did your guy, the one that you closed, did he go out and do any inspections or like just like discovery calls?
No, he did two estimates. Yeah, he did two of them. I think one guy like Flake, but he was able to do one. I think one guy was complaining and the other person was nice, but I haven't really been able to get back a hold of him. I was able to get him a lead today that I spoke with, but he just texts back thumbs up. So I'm like, I mean, if it's cool, it's cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
complain.
The fact that you're even getting thumbs up is like fantastic, bro. Like
Yeah,
honestly.
that I am happy that he is responding. Like, because if he was just reading the text, I'd be like, oh shit. But he is responding, so that is good. So
Yeah, good. Okay.
That kind of makes me think of another thing because like for the texting, there's a few people who they just like text, right? And so I'll like send it over. I was gonna do a three-way text when I was like when they both agreed, but he's like, oh sorry, I didn't see your last text, and then he sent me a screenshot where he texted them already. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But I want to do a three-way so that way I can see how the conversation goes. But what I was gonna see is like kind of like you know how I did like for the first guy, I did like the first two handoffs and then I gave him the rest of the leads through just like the text. But I feel like it would be cool if we kind of baited them in a way where they would update us on all the things that, if they went out to quote, it's like, if I say, yeah, I'm looking for the people who, get the furthest or something. I don't know. Or at least someone or yeah, at least it's somewhere where they let you know, like, hey, I called them. I mean a lot of the guys would do that with me where like if I did send them a lead where I'm like, hey, I forgot like there's a few instances where I just had to text them the information and send them the screenshots of the text I had with that lead. And just it would be nice to kind of get that update from them. That's like, hey, I booked the quote because like this guy, I didn't even know he went out to the house. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna try to like maybe think on a way where if there is an instance where I don't do a warm handoff, even if I do a warm handoff, like they update me as things happen. And then that way it's kind of like it's a reward for them in some way. I don't know.
Yeah. Um,
That would be dope.
yeah. Yeah. I think yeah, we can, I mean, we'll progress towards that for sure. I think my concern with you, on specifically, I would say everybody, but like you is like just work right now. My concern is not necessarily that stuff, the systems and operations, but the sales. Like just
Right.
that's my concern right now is like just making sure we say the right thing to make it a no-brainer by the time we get to the sales call. That's my main thing right now. And then all those small little, all those things that you're talking about, I view those as like the bells and whistles
Okay.
to 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 streamline operations.
Right. Okay, so I mean, for this guy that I have, again, I think he's like a pretty good fit. Like he's very social. He's very, I gave him one warm handoff that was out of his range. I gave him another text handoff. That's one he said he got the quote for. I did another text handoff. I don't know if she responded to him. I assume she did because she was responsive to me. But I guess I should get him on one more phone call and then push for the sale call because that's like three leads. Should I maybe try to do like two more just because it was like a week off, kind of build that relationship again, and then push for the
Let's
sales call.
let's see what happened with Righteous really quick and get
Okay.
and then from there we'll go back to kind of like where you're at and maybe I'll give you some suggestions because I don't fully know exactly what happened with Righteous. I don't know step by step exactly what happened. And that there might be some valuable crucial information there that helped him close a deal. Did you get a chance to did you watch his sales call or discovery call or anything like that or no? I'm on
Yeah,
just okay,
I watched
cool.
them.
I skimmed through the sales call towards the tail end, so that's kind of where I'm at. So Righteous, can you give us like maybe a chronological thing of like step by step? Here's what I did, then this, so I can me and Alan can try to follow along and then see if maybe there's something in there that's like absolute crucial making this work.
Yes, I can. Let me pull up my script really fast.
Which is good stuff.
Thank you, thank you. I was nervous, man. It was crazy. Where's my
You keep your cool very well, man. Like I noticed, I was like, you keep your cool. Um, Righteous.
Yeah, I was trying to because like I did forget on my face.
You have a good poker face. Like I couldn't tell what was like inside I knew you were jumping for joy, but in your face didn't show it at all.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because people in car sales say that. They're like, I never know what's going on. I can't tell. Like you got a great poker face. I'm like, I don't know. I just been in sales for a long time now. It's just like, I don't know. It's
Bryce
probably
is he's the type of dude that hit a half court shot at a basketball game and not care.
Yeah.
hold on. I'm having trouble finding my script. I really
Okay.
just took. Oh, here it is. So I did an intro in the beginning of the call. I just kind of said, "Hey, thank you for taking the time out to hop on the call." Then I ensured that he have enough time, 30 minutes, hour set aside. He was cool.
Are
Um,
you talking about the sales call?
um,
Are you talking about the sales call right now?
yeah, sales call.
So what I'm asking about specifically, thank you for that. But what I'm asking for is like if you could give us like bullet points, like for example, like all right, so I did the hook on Monday, overall here,
Oh,
and then Tuesday I got on the first lead. Here's I did the warm handoff. Here's my notable things. Wednesday this happened. Thursday this happened. And on Thursday after this happened, I hit him on our conversation. I told him like, yo, we're gonna hop on a sales call. He was cool with it. And then on the sales call, overall, here's kind of how like that's kind of what I'm looking for to see if
got you. Got
for Almond.
Yep, for sure. So I hooked him. That had to be because it was Thursday when I closed him. Tuesday, Wednesday. So I had to hook them on Tuesday because I know I got him one lead the first day, and then the second day I got him two leads. And he went. I believe he got the address from all three, and then I think he just had one no show, and then one was like a bad lead, and then the other one he said was pretty good, but I don't think that she could afford his prices. But he said he wasn't complaining off of that. He understands it's a number game. And then from there, we what do we do?
So Tuesday you hooked him, Wednesday you got a lead, Thursday you got a lead. Okay.
Well, let's see. Yeah, Tuesday hooked him. Yeah, Tuesday I hooked him, got him a lead that day, and then Wednesday I got him 2 leads, and then we booked the sales call Thursday.
Okay, that's my question. So Wednesday you get him lead 1, you get him lead 2. Are these you're texting him over these leads?
So those were the warm handoffs.
Okay.
The warm handoff. There was a warm handoff on the first day, and then the second day I got him 2 warm handoffs.
Okay,
And
so you
then
did
on
one for all 3 of them.
Yeah, I did warm handoffs on all 3, and then on that third warm handoff is when I booked the sales call.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. So does that make
Okay.
sense? So I feel like that's like it's a good transition because you're right then and there. He's hot and heavy. He's on the thorn. It's like awesome, man. So there you go. Those are the third lead. I hope you've had. I don't know. Actually, I'd be curious. Did you record that third call by any chance? That warm handoff?
I don't think I did get the third one.
Yeah, it's my intention to ask for that sales call on the call with him. So that's why I do want to do another warm handoff.
Yeah.
My question, should it be the next one that I do, or should I maybe do 2 handoffs left? Because that's what I kind of mentioned. I kind of did some through text, so you got some like extra leads out of that. But I'm wondering if I should do like one where like 2 more where he's actually like
How many-
booking it.
How many leads have you got him total so far? You got him 3 leads? Yeah, or
Yeah.
3 leads. One was out of the location, and then 2 are good.
One was good, and then one I'm not 100% sure. Like I know I was texting her, I got them. He texted from there. She agreed to him texting, so I assumed that one was good. I assume
And I would say the next one. Do one more, and
one more
yeah. When was the last lead you got him?
today, like just now.
Okay. Okay, cool then. In that case, yeah.
Like,
I-
right.
Yeah, so that's totally cool. So if you got him 1 lead today, he's most likely worked it. You most likely just want to text him and just confirm what's going on. Be like, hey, or even drop a voice note. Hey, John, hey, John, want to check and see how that conversation went. Was it smooth sailing, or do you feel like there's whatever? Just like get him to talk. The idea is just get him to talk, and then from there, it's like awesome, great. We're gonna work on getting you that last lead here. Or getting your third. Or I wouldn't say the last. I would say, all right, cool, John. We're gonna get to work on getting you your third lead now. And then from
Okay.
there, we're getting your third lead. By the way, John, this will be a warm handoff, just like the first one. Did you give him any warm handoffs or no?
I gave him one. That was the one that was out of the service.
So-
So he knows. I
Okay.
had to save yeah.
Okay, so my suggestion is, so yeah, you text him for the second one, get him talking. Then from there, awesome, John. We're gonna go and get to work on getting your third lead. Just a heads up, this will be a warm handoff. Is that cool? Or you don't even say that's cool. Just giving you a heads up, it's a warm handoff. He says, yeah, cool. Then you do the third as a warm handoff, and just like Righteous, at the end of the call, you push for the sales call the next day.
Yeah.
And then
Because I'm texting on like Google Voice, so I don't think I could do like a voice note. But I'm gonna just text and be like, "Hey, how did that lead go?" He'll give me some kind of response. Be like, "Cool, I should have another lead. You should see a call from me in the next day or so, or within this week." And then or I'll get you your third. Yeah. So I was just gonna leave at that, and then when I get him on the phone, do the handoff. Then I was gonna say there, like, cool. We got you about 4 leads now. And then from there transition, or is that too abrupt?
no, that's it. That's exactly what you want to do. So
Okay.
so you want him to know. So just moving forward in the future, here's my suggestion to you, right? Just everybody, is be very crystal clear. It is 3 leads specifically. So instead of saying about 5 days, 3 days, whatever, just 3 leads.
Yeah.
3 leads. And you guys can also throw in there you guys can, it's not super important, but it's like, hey, the very first one, we're gonna do a warm handoff. The second one can be a text. To me, it sounds almost like the third one should be a warm handoff as well, because you can transition into setting up the sales call.
Yeah, I feel like we don't even have to explain that. Like I just gonna say it's gonna be a warm handoff, and then if it happens to be a text, I just text them like the information. They're cool with it. So I just feel like it doesn't really create like
Are you talking about
um
are you talking about the third one?
yeah, like because the second one being a text wasn't because
Oh, yeah.
it was It was just because they were like, "Hey, I can't talk right now." But then I can. So it was just like anytime I have texted them was just because that person wanted to text.
Yeah. I would
Um,
say for now, like I would say make your first and your third always warm handoffs for now.
yeah, that's how that's what I'm picturing. That's what I'm planning to do. Because I want that first one so I can know, and then the third one so I can push for that sales call. And so that's kind of my thing. But yeah, my question was more of like, should this next call with him, because I didn't do three warm handoffs on the call, but I also got him quite a few leads. So I think it'll be safe. Be
Yeah.
like, I guess how should I transition? So like, hey, that was the fourth lead. From here, like, how do I like say
Yeah.
that without saying like,
So one thing you can do, and again, we'll get Righteous's like feedback to see how he did it. But what's brewing in my head, I think what I would potentially do is when I text him for the warm handoff, I would hop on a call with him first. Hey, John, so I'm gonna go ahead and I got so and so on my launch. This okay? This. I'm gonna go and bring her on and just do a warm introduction. And I'll be hanging out just really quick. After you're done, please don't hang up. I'm going to talk to you about details in terms of what's next. Okay. Okay, John. John says, yeah. Boom. Bring him on. Do your thing. He hangs on the line. Cool. John. So there you go, man. How was that experience? Okay, great. So there you have it, man. Those are your those are your three leads. You available tomorrow to chop it up details and talk about how we can keep the ball rolling, keep the party going, something like that. But
good.
Righteous, I mean, do you want to kind of share how you did it?
No, yeah, on the warm handoff, it was pretty much exactly just like that. And that once after the call ended, I was just pretty much asking, "Hey, how'd that feel?" I'm gonna probably steal what you said. Hey, how was it? How's that experience? I think that sounds a lot better. And then from there, just be like, "Hey, are you available to hop on a call this Thursday to talk about, our partnership?" And he was like, "Yep, here's the yeah." And I set it up from there, but pretty much
Cool.
what you said.
Cool. So there you have it. I'm on.
Awesome. Cool. That's it from me then.
Cool.
I'll check to make sure that warm handoff call was my third one too, so that I can see. Because I might have been at home, but I couldn't really remember. It's like all running together. I'm kind of being a man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Else before this, you said you're like car dealer.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I could tell just listening to yourself, like you follow scripts to a T. Like even the ChatGPT script that I made, like you actually like followed like word for word. I was like, wow. Because I sometimes veer off and I feel like a lot of people veer off from it. But even like that guy on the sales call when he was like, oh, why don't you do the pay per lead again? And you like had the exact lines memorized. Like I kind of memorized it now at this point, but like to like a T, you like said word for word the whole paper, the vacation thing, all that stuff. I was like, damn, he got that spot on.
That was from a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm definitely reading the script on that part. The only thing that I would say is it's very long, and like something like Coach Sheik mentioned, like when I'm reading the script, I can start sound like a robot. So I'm just trying to say it a lot slower, make sure I pause. That way they say okay or got it to make sense or something like that. Then I'll move to the next sentence instead of just trying to, because I ripped through it one time and like he said yes to everything, and then I tried to do a warm handoff with him, and he ghosted me, and then the lead ghosted me. I was like, I don't know what the hell happened, but I was probably just reading too much and just wasn't, pausing to listen to see if they were paying attention too. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you. So it lets me know I'm getting
It's
better. Sure.
like I just started getting my tonality like really dialed in. So
Yeah, tonality is so important. I feel like Hormozy talks about, he says like, there are a few things that you want your team to memorize and recite word for word. And he said one of those, I remember one of them was the objections. So you want your team to have your objections down pat and recite it back. So the fact that Righteous has done that and you're like, oh, you paid attention to that, I would say that's the right move. But doing it tastefully with tonalities and stuff. Right. So memorizing it, but then doing with tonality. Those are one of the few things to memorize and say to a T. But anyways, anything else, Aman, that was top of mind for you, bro?
no, I think that was mainly it.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm psychic. I called that we were gonna get a close last week, so we got one. But I want to see some more. I want to see some more. My theory is that we'll have
I think we should have another one this week. That's
Well,
what
it's me, Righteous Rivera, and then
you, Righteous, and Rivera, and then Keith. Keith is still kind of like Keith is in a place where he's trying to figure out like what kind of ads work. That's like his focus right now. So he's a chapter behind you, I would say. He tried launching the quiz funnel, it didn't work, and then he got a little bit busy with some stuff. So that's where he's at. So I would say like Keith is here in terms of the journey, and then I would say Riviera is here, where Riviera is like Riviera had some ads and he hasn't put in the time and nearly the time and energy that you've put in, right? How much you're committing to like figuring things out. So I would say Keith is here, hasn't really been able to test. Riviera is here, and then you and Righteous are both like doing the reps.
Cool.
So that's kind of where I see things. So I'd like to see Riviera pick it up. I'd like to see what happens with Keith gets his head in the game. But yeah, that's kind
yeah, I
of
think it's going. It has to be around the corner. I can hook people as long as I can get the leads. I know I can get there because I did the sales call once, so I just need to get there again.
yeah. Just keep I my concern is I just want to see I just know it's a volume game, just doing more and more reps. But
Yeah.
my big thing is I want to see you guys stay as machines. That's my big thing. Machines. You have to commit the inputs. Have to commit to
I
them.
may have to stick around when you motivate Cam later.
Yeah, me and
I saw that like, yeah, dude, same, bro.
but yeah, on anything else that you wanted to go over before I transition to Righteous and Chem?
No, that's mostly it.
Yeah. Guys, we do have a new member. Wilgie is here. We're gonna do an official welcome next Monday when everybody's here. But I do want to get him to say hi really quick before we delve into things. Just Wilgie, do you want to say hi really quick?
Yeah. Oh, so hi everybody. My name is Wilgie. From Canada, and I recently got into Kurshik's program. It was very cool. Got in first to the 7 day thing, and then yeah, from then I was like, man, this guy gives so much value. I have to work with him. And then so yeah, now here I am, looking forward to get some results and then be part of the ones put it in the work like you guys are doing, Righteous and Amen. So
Yeah.
it's nice to meet you guys, and I'll be looking forward to be putting in work like you guys.
You guys want to see a funny email from Wilgie?
Yes. Wilgie, also we gotta jump on a call tomorrow.
Yeah, we do actually.
Or I
Yeah,
think whenever you
tomorrow
have
morning, right?
whenever you have a second, just look at the Slack chat and let me know.
Oh, for sure.
Wilgie was talking about how I got nothing on my social medias. He sent so he got the automated email. He's like, "Yo, what's up, fam? I don't see no content from you. How do I know you're legit?" And here he is.
Yeah, literally.
So I think we sent him like the YouTube. Yeah, we sent him the YouTube, and then he had a look, and yeah, he went through some of the lives that we're recording right now. He checked out some lives, and
Yeah, exactly. Actually, like I saw his ad first, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Went into IG, and I was like, man, there's not enough content. Went into like did some research on, and I saw a thing on Discord. I was like, man, is this guy legit? Because there's so much. There are people like saying that the claims were so like people were finding the claims like a little outrageous, like it sounded fake. And then I was like, okay, well then, that's why I just sent the email, saying that, yeah, guys, I don't see any content. Like, is there anything? And then they replied back under YouTube. So on YouTube, the videos were old, but I went onto the live thing. I was like, yo, the lives are like from 3 days ago. What's going on? And I saw one of them. I was like, shit, okay, that's cool. That's good. Let me get into it real quick.
cheat code, guys. YouTube really is a cheat code. I really do think YouTube is a cheat code. So
honestly, it is. I'm not lie.
But anyways, welcome, Wilgie. We'll do when the guys are here next Monday, we have like a packed house at the very beginning. I'd like to, go in and do an official welcome. But yeah, who do we have next? We have Mr. Cam. So yeah, man,
man. So what's going? I mean, how do you want to take this conversation, man? How do you?
I think I just need to kind of get back. I'm trying to find that fire I once had. Now that the baby's here, me and Dakota kind of went through like our first relationship adjustment. Everything's like great, but that took like a big swing and my time away from the desk for sure. Things are great now, but in terms of like that block, it took a lot out of my energy away. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get back on my feet. And even before that, I was starting to kind of dwindle down. Um, but yeah, I don't really. I'm reading this book called The Alter Ego, where it's kind of like I think I need to channel something that I don't really have all the time when I sit at my desk. I think I need to get to my desk, and once I'm actually there, I need to figure something out on how to not mess around. I'm reading this book where basically this guy, he was part of Kobe's Mamba mentality, where when he stepped onto the court, he was like a completely different guy. Same thing, but like it's a little different. But when I get up to the office, it's like I put on glasses and I just channel like my three top idols that I want to channel to get that type of work done. Um, so that's hopefully going to be pretty cool. I could see that working for myself because I do become a different person when I'm working versus like when I'm hanging out with Dakota and the kids. So, um, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to get back up on the horse and figure out how to kind of not stop. Um, and I'm also maybe just kind of taking a look at my some new goals maybe and kind of really take a look at what I'm after because I think I've lost sight of my why, if that makes sense. I have a lot of whys, but um, I'm almost looking for like a drill sergeant just to like beat the shit out of me and be like, oh yeah, that's right. Um,
Buying my plane ticket now.
yeah, I don't know. Like you and Mason are absolute. You guys are pretty disgusting, both of you. I'm looking both of you in the eye. You guys are gross at work. You guys just seem to get things done when you need to get it done and then some all the time. Obviously, like behind the scenes, you guys like have your ups and downs, I'm sure, but um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So when do you feel like you started to dwindle down?
Um, I think it's when I take like a day off or something. So,
No, what I'm asking you is like what date? So right now we're on March 17. You
oh,
said, hey,
what date? Oh God.
you said, unless I misunderstood you, what I heard you say is that you felt yourself dwindling down. You felt like maybe you're letting your foot off the gas pedal. Is that true, or did I mishear you? If I did hear you correctly, then when do you think that was?
Um, yeah, I'd say probably 2 weeks ago, I'd say. I think it's when I kind of got those two client when I started getting that money coming in, like Shimmy paid me, I got a paid in full from Jesse, like my first paid in full for 3 months, and then Shimmy just paid me 2008. So like I think 2 weeks ago was the first day where I realized that I made the same amount as I did on my previous job, which was really cool. Um,
How much did you make?
but then I think so. This is Canadian, but 7,000 something USD, 5 grand.
So you made it on what day?
Um, mm, Probably like around start of March, first week of March.
So somewhere in this week, you got a pay in full 5K. You're like, holy shit. And then you feel like you think you let your foot off gas pedal.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And then the more time I spend with Dakota and Marley, I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. So it's like, and then I got hardwired into me where it's like, I'm a lazy dude. Like I love just chilling. Like I'm not one of those guys where they beat themselves up for chilling and not being productive. I'm like the opposite. I'm like, oh, I like being at the desk and working. And it feels really good. But if you say I'm not going to work for the rest of my life, I'm like, okay, sounds good. Unfortunately, that's the way I am and it kind of sucks, but yeah, when I get a taste of what it feels like just to chill, and then I start to rationalize chilling the next day. I'm like, oh well, I don't need to do that the next day, so I'm just gonna put that off to hang out with you guys again. You know what I mean? So I'm lucky to have that personal life that's so good, but it takes away from the work life that I need to put in the work to be able to continue that um
You think like
that type of lifestyle.
what do you think? So do you think it was the 5K that caused this, or do you think it's correlation? Like it just happened to be?
I think it was a bunch of things. The 5K kind of made me take I was like, okay, I don't need to, obviously I need to work every day, but in my mind, I was like, all right, I can chill a little bit. And there was a lot of communication between Shimmy and me because this is something I have to ask Mason, but we can't get the leads to sync from his Facebook all the way to go high level because they made that new update. Mason, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but they changed the update / create opportunity to separate things where it's update opportunity and create opportunity. And I don't know if that's the problem, but I have a sneaking suspicion that's hopefully got something to do with that. Um, but yeah, I was like, Shimmy's not really getting results, and I'm waiting for Go High Level to get back to me. Like I put in a ticket. They still haven't gotten back to me, so I've just kind of been hanging out. The results have been consistently coming in for Jesse, so the Charlotte location, so everyone's happy. I'm doing sales training in like 30 minutes for Jesse, which feels really good. Like I'm beginning to teach sales. And then me and Dakota kind of had that adjustment thing where that took a lot of like emotional time and brain space.
Was that this
So
week of 9th to the 15th that happened?
yeah, yeah,
So basically the thing that happened, you feel like you let your foot off the gas pedal the week before.
yeah. And
So
I think maybe it wasn't quite that, but it was kind of like I have money coming in. I'm gonna rationalize taking all the time away from work and just spending it on this time with you guys, Marley, and just do that. Don't put everything else aside. And then the more time I do that, the more I'm like, I don't want to go back to work. Like this is so nice. Um,
okay.
yeah.
What what do you feel like the fuel was like when we first started? I know what you said to me, but what do you feel like it was? What do you think it was?
I think it was that I just had no other choice.
Why did you have no other choice? What do you mean?
Um, in my mind, it was like the thought of Dakota having to, because she's a massage therapist. I was like, the thought of Dakota having to go to work just to make money rather than like her body's hurting, like she would rather like leave 2 weeks, or that was heartbreaking to me. I was like, she should not have to go to work if she physically is unable to. And that kept me going. And then like the baby, all these things came down. And then that we have the baby here, I bet you it's partly because of the baby arriving. I'm like, okay, because in your thoughts, you're like, oh, I need this. If I don't do this, like this baby's not gonna be able to live. I'm the other partner. And now that it's here, I'm like, I'm still alive. My life hasn't really changed too much.
I think
The fire is kind of because when I met you, we just got pregnant. So it was kind of like, oh my God, oh my God. And then as soon as I had this thing, I was like, all right, let's run, let's run, let's run. I'll break through walls. Um, so I think that's probably it, actually.
I think that's what it is too. Like that's what it was. That's I will tell you that's when I noticed your behavior changed. The moment she was born, your behavior changed.
Yeah.
And
Because now
everything
it's kind of like, yeah, I'm still breathing. I'm putting food on the table, you know, like I don't really have that fear of everything's not gonna be okay. I need to do this thing. And now that she's
you
here.
Yeah, when we first started working together, you were super neurotic and anxious about that. Like that was your most important. You were saying things to me like, dude, I don't want to be a failure. I gotta say I'm so and so in front of, her pops and mom, and I gotta, show that I'm secure and stable. And you had all these fears of not being man enough. A lot of it was like you being man enough, you supporting, and now that the baby here's, you're like, well, it's not that serious. Like the baby's alive, I'm okay. Like if I chill, like everything will be okay. And now I think I think that is ultimately what's going on. I think that is what I think it's partly that. My other theory, again, I spent a lot of time thinking about you guys. My other thing I was bringing in my head is like, I wonder if like he's just trying to adjust to like sleep and stuff. I was like, maybe he's still got the fire in him and it's just sleep. And he's just like trying to get used to this new schedule.
I think the
If it's
sleep
not,
is
if
good.
you don't think it's that, then it's not that for sure. If you don't think it's
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's we don't have a schedule at all. Like since Marley's been born, I haven't been in the office. Like I think since it's been 2 months of just like lollygagging, it feels like. And yeah, I've been closing these like that 1 or 2 deals, but they came to me from like a while ago, if that makes sense. Like they're from, I talked to these guys at the start when I was going like hard. So I didn't really earn it in this time. I think I closed that deal the day after Marley was born, but I did all the work before that. Now that she's born, I'm like, all right, we're just chilling.
When is she gonna go back
It's not burning.
When is she gonna go back to work?
My dream is never. Um,
Realistically.
Realistically, but I don't know. We've talked about this a few times, and both of us are like, I don't know. Like she's got some savings. Obviously, she doesn't want to dip into them, but right now she is. I would like to be when I came to you, my goal was still the same. I was like, I want her to know that she doesn't have to work if she doesn't have to, which is not the case right now. So I think I just gotta kind of remember why I started and to pretend like the franticness was kind of my superpower before in a weird way.
Here's how I kind of view things, man. I don't know how long I want to spend here, but it's like if this is like the sunlight and like amazing shit, you either are gonna get this is gonna happen or this is gonna happen. And usually this is like fear, anger, doubt. Like there's a fuel source here that causes people to move. And this is what I feel like is the best fuel source for most people. It is mine. I feel like maybe it was Mason's, definitely Hormozy's proving his dad wrong. Like this is a great fuel source to start. This is you and the kid. And the moment this fuel source runs out, um, yeah, this is also like proving people wrong. You know, hey, everybody thinks I'm a loser. Da 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 da. I'm gonna prove them wrong. Like that's all this. It's like a certain fuel source, and I think it's a fantastic one to get started. And then when people get here, this is like now it's a different fuel. This is kind of like gas, and this is like electric. And this is like where people are doing things for a larger cause. You're like, dude, you have more than enough money. Why the fuck are you still doing this? That would be like a Warren Buffett. That would be like fucking Elon Musk trying to save the world. It's like a greater cause. It's greater than you. It's something more, it's beautiful for you. This is like a Ryan Pineda. I like that guy a lot. He's somebody I look up to a lot. Ryan Pineda for his wife and his family and like God. A lot of what he does is like to just pass a message off of God. He's feel like that's what he's doing. He's doing it's a greater cause. This is a complete different fuel source. This is like a good source. This is a clean, healthy source. This is like fucking Vegeta. This is like somebody that's got like this is the Joker. It's like a different fuel source. I don't know if this is making any sense to you, but it's like
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah.
is it okay? So it's like once
Yeah.
people are out of this fuel source, you have to live with this. And so what I can do is I can remind you, and for me, I tell people, dude, you're not ready for this until like you have like $1 million cash. I don't believe anybody. Yeah, like I tell Mason this all the time. He'll tell you, I'm like, dude, like I bother Mason is so fucking annoyed with how much I talking about like investing and saving money and like the market. Like that's all I bother him about. And but that's when people get here. Um, what I can tell you and what I can do for you is I can help you. You can look at the numbers and just realize that you are here. You have to curate this. And so I don't want to spend too long here, but like I tell people like if you have like $2 million in cash and you live off of like 10% of that through assets, that's like 10K a month. So the truth is that if you want to live the lifestyle that you want to live, this is the truth. The truth is if you want to live the lifestyle that you want to live, every single person that's here, the magic number is about $2 million cash. So that means if you want to make $100,000 cash and then you want to invest into Bitcoin and then turn that to, you know, 1 million and then turn that shit coins and turn that to 2 million, now boom, you're good. I don't care how you do it, but you got to get like $2 million cash, or you save $2 million in cash, or you buy some real estate and then it appreciates. But either way, you need 2 million in cash because you can live off of the investment and then now it's paying you 10K per month. And for me, I don't know about you, but for me, this scared the shit out of me. For me, when I realized this, I was like, oh shit, I gotta fucking get to this number as fast as fucking possible. Because, and for me,
I don't like to spend too long and I don't like to talk too much about my personal stuff, but I needed this for my lifestyle because there are some health concerns and some things I need to deal with. And I knew I need to get to 10K per month so I can deal with my other problems in life. I knew that I had no choice but to figure this out. And so my entire focus was just getting here as fast as I fucking could. And so can you scare yourself into that? Can you scare yourself into the reality of like something bad happens and then you realize, damn, dude, like the wife and insurance and this and that. Maybe like life needs to fucking kick you in the ass for you to realize how much more money you really need. You really need this. Honestly, you need this before you can even fucking think about anything. 5K ain't shit. And I say that respectfully, it's nothing. This is nothing. I'll show you something. I showed Mason this. I turned down $16,000 the other day. The Nick Francesca people, I made them an offer. They countered me with this offer, 3K to teach Francesca, 3K for this, 666 a month for this, 15. It equates to about $16,000 a year. I turned that down because they didn't take my offer. And so when I say 5K, trust me when I tell you 5K ain't shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I could keep going. The other thing I wrote down is this, is what I've seen in people that are successful is this, and this is maybe my biggest unlock for you. Because I feel like a lot of what I'm saying, again, if you talk about the fuel source and where you are on this, like either this is life just kicking you in the ass for you to realize. This is you getting your girl pregnant young and you fucking love her to death and you don't want her to be with anybody else and you're scared and terrified. Life circumstances give you this fuel. This fuel you curate yourself by just having a bigger vision. Life has to kind of kick you in the ass. So it's like, when is life going to kick you in the ass? You kind of have to pray for life to kick you in the ass for you to realize how much harder you have to work, maybe. And so for that, I can't really do much. I can't tell you much. I can't like, hey, like fucking go like get in a ski accident, fuck your life up and then be motivated. I don't know. I can't do that for you. But here's what I can tell you is that almost every successful person I know, they have like a certain time. This is super important. Every successful person I know, I don't know if it's going to help you, but every successful person I know, they say, I have a time where I will mourn. I have a time where I will be happy. I have a time where I'll spend with my family. I have a time. And after that time, I need to get off my ass. I need to go do the thing. And they are all self-motivated. So me, for example, I used to deal with a lot of depression when I was younger, a lot. I couldn't get out of bed. Like literally, I remember there was like 3 months where I fucking couldn't get out of bed. I don't know how I passed 3 months. Literally, I'd wake up, brush my teeth. Sometimes I'd go to the gym. Just 3 months, just sweating in bed. I don't know how the fuck I did it. But now I have a rule where no matter what, how sad I get, if there's a death or whatever the fuck it is, I commit. I say, hey, 3 days is what you have, Kushik. And then after that, you have to fucking get up. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what's going on. You have to get up after 3 days. So, and by the way, the best cure for depression scientifically is proven. This is like forcing yourself, because depression is all about like, I don't feel like doing certain things. And so it's like, hey, you don't feel like doing that, go do the thing. And then you will feel better. That's the best medicine, better than antidepressant, better than walking, better than anything. I don't talk about depression, but the same thing applies with motivation. Is when you say a thing, hey, Kushik, I don't feel motivated to do this thing. I would rather go do, you just have to put in your fucking calendar, bro. And understand that if you don't do this, well, then she doesn't get the life that you want to give her. She never will, because 5K ain't shit, and you need 1 to 2 million, and you're very far from that.
Yeah. 5K, that's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Cool. Yeah, that's helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I needed. Gotta go take a look at myself. But yeah, cool. Thank you.
I think one other thing I'll say to you is this is like, I try to get Aman to do this. I try to get different people to do this. A lot of people, when they make these goals of like, I want to make 10K per month or whatever, and I always look at them, I always kind of like think to myself, why? And a lot of people don't know why. And they don't have a reason. It's mimetic desires, which is they look at somebody else and they think this other person's cool, respect this other person. They're like, oh, this person does it, so therefore I'll do it. Oh, I've seen this influencer do it, and this influencer drives a Lambo and whatever, so I would do that. You don't actually want the Lambo, you just like the influencer. okay, that influencer has students that make 10K per month that seem like they're having a really good lifestyle, and okay, therefore I want to make 10K. That's you're never gonna get far in life doing that. What happens is you have to get emotional about the number you want to hit. Again, what did I explain to you? I said I needed to hit a certain number because when I hit that number, for me, I needed to, for me, my goal, I need to have my house paid for. I need to have my car paid for. I need to have a nice car. I need to have all these things where I never fucking have to worry about money so that I can focus on solving these problems that were deep rooted in my life that are very personal to me that I've never really shared with anyone. I needed that. And so I was emotionally tied to my number. That's the key. You have to be emotionally tied to your fucking number. I knew the number I needed to hit. I need to be emotional about it. So if you know, for example, I need to hit 12K, and if you are at 10K, if you know, hey, I need to hit 12K, I need to, you're going to make those extra cold calls. You're going to push that one person a little bit harder. You're going to do whatever you need to do to meet that 12K quota. You will do it, but you have to be emotionally tied to this number. The question becomes, how do you become emotionally tied to it? Is you figure out what your dream life is like, wake up, brush your teeth, whatever the fuck it is. You plan it all out and you figure out what does your ideal life cost. That's what you have to do. You have to figure out what does it actually cost, not just some random number like 10K. And you have to reverse engineer it, by the way, as well. Again, I'm giving you a lot of stuff, but that's how I did. It's like, okay, I know I have to make a certain amount of cash. From there, I have to invest a certain amount. And then from there, I'm going to get a certain amount out. And then I got the house and I got the car. And then from there, now I get to solve my actual core problem and I get to live a life. So I'm like reverse engineering all this shit. So I start here and I work backwards and then I figure out how the fuck I have to do it. And I was emotionally tied to this. I was emotionally tied to it. So you have to do that. You have to kind of like figure out your end game, right? That's the key. Start with the end and then work backwards, and then figure this. And then now you become emotionally tied to this. That's my other piece of advice I give you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's super helpful. When it comes to invest, what number do you think? I know you just said we shouldn't look at numbers that way. You won't get very far, but what number would you say I should hit before I start asking you questions about investing? Because I feel like that's just like a distraction right now. Since I was 2 years old, everyone says I should start investing young, but like I'm just figuring out.
Everybody's a little bit different. I will tell you this is Jorge had the same, me and Jorge had the same conversation. I told him very similar to what I just told you. And I said, Jorge, your goal, again, everybody believes different things. Okay. I'll share something else that I don't typically share. I share this with Mason. Mason thinks I'm fucking crazy. A lot of people think I'm fucking crazy. I've been sharing this. Like this is like where my time goes. Majority of my time goes to shit like this. Do you guys know what you're looking at by any chance?
Crypto charts.
So this is the price of Bitcoin. And then this is the price of M2 money supply. So the M2 money supply is the amount of dollars are printed into the world, not the US, but the world. And what happens is the more money is printed, the more money that is taken and it's put into investments. Make sense so far? Okay, so here's the crazy thing. You kind of sort of can read the future. So this right here, I don't want to spend too long. So this right here, if I move this to 0, there is no correlation between this. This is the Bitcoin price, and then this is the M2 money. So there's absolutely no fucking correlation. But if I shift it forward by 107 days, this actually tells me what's going to happen in the world. So see how it like very closely follows? I know, like literally it's to a fucking T. I know that Bitcoin price is probably going to dump around here and then it's going to start creeping up. I know, and if you know that, if you can kind of read the future, it's like, okay, have my money saved by May 25th. Invest it, boom, I'm going to fucking double my money. It's kind of a cheat code. It's too good to be true almost.
Yeah.
Crazy this is. Look how crazy it follows.
So this is just what you've been doing?
This is like what most of my focus is. So, it's figuring shit like this out. So what I told Jorge, he was talking to me, he's like, Kaushik, I closed this deal, I'm thinking about moving out. I pretty much told him the same thing I told you. He was like, this ain't shit. This is nothing. I think if I were to give you advice, it would be save. I told Jorge this, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. I'll tell everybody this. Save $100,000 cash by the end of 2026. So I told Jorge, reverse engineer that. What is that number? I forget, it was like 6,000, 8,000 per month or whatever. I want you to make enough money to save that after taxes. Why? Because at the end of 2026, you will most likely be at a bear market low. If you invest $100,000 into the market, then, bro, you'll probably have like $1 million by the end of the cycle. At least 500,000.
And what's a cycle?
So basically, the markets move like this. And each of these, so from the top to the bottom is 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. So right now, where are we right now? We're basically like right here. So it's like too late to get in right now. We're probably going to top here soon, probably in a few months. And what I'm telling you is save your money to then invest here and then ride it up. So this will be 2026. December 2026 is right here. If you can, every single one of you guys, if you guys can save $100,000 and put it here, it will change your fucking life in 4 years. I told Jorge this, work hard for the next 2 years, no matter what the fuck you do, I don't care. Live at home, do it where the fuck you save all your fucking goddamn money and have 100K saved and be emotionally tied to that number. Now you guys can get emotionally tied. This is the fucking magic number. You hit 100K, your life will change forever. And by the time you get up here, you'll have 500K to $1 million, depending on how you play your cards. From there, you invest that into real estate and whatever the fuck else you need to do. That's another conversation for another day. You're chilling. This is life. Like, do this. Just do this. Everybody, just do this. So now maybe you can get emotionally tied to that, Cam. You say, hey, now, again, maybe now you can get off your ass and be like, hey, 5K is what I've made. I got 95K more to go.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
got a deadline. And so now what happens is it causes you to live frugally. For me, again, I had a disgusting, I say respectfully, disgusting amount of money cash saved up before I even moved out. And it's because I was just focused on this. So now what happens is if I were you, and if this reality really hits you, Cam, what you do is you fucking, for me, if I would be on fucking hyperdrive and I would be living frugally as fuck, not spending money because I know I have to hit 100K saved. If you let that reality set in, life changes completely.
Okay. Dakota's got, so we met up with like a financial advisor. Dakota's got like close to 80K saved, like right now.
Don't give it to financial advisor.
Oh.
Where the fuck you never give it to financial advisor. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Those guys
Ever?
No, fuck those guys. Financial advisors
Alright.
make their money off of you. Financial advisors, the way financial advisors make money is they take your money, they invest in the market, and then they get a percentage of your money. So they can't lose no matter what. Financial advisors, if they were so fucking good, they would invest their own goddamn money. They don't. They make their money off of your backs.
Right.
And I can tell you this because a member of the program, his name's Ethan. Ethan, I got into crypto. He's like crazy about crypto. He's way worse than I am. His dad's a financial advisor. And he's literally doing everything he can because he's seen what his dad does. He's seen what that lifestyle is. He knows the reality. Anyways, I'm not trying to necessarily just don't be careful. Don't give your money to
So
financial
wait,
advisors.
so in your, because we're
Financial
thinking about like moving and stuff.
Financial advisors are scams. Here's the other thing I'll tell you. Okay, here's another thing. I don't know how the fuck we are talking about finances here, but here's the number. It's 15%. Okay, this is the magic number. Everything in life that does not earn you 15% is a waste of money. So what I mean by that is the government prints at 15%. Okay, 15%. What does that mean? The government is basically inflating the dollar by 15%. So everything is getting more and more expensive by 15% every fucking year. So if you have stocks like the S&P 500 or whatever, it's like 8%. So if inflation is 15% and the S&P is growing by 8%, your bank account looks like it's getting bigger, but you're actually fucking going backwards. You need to bare minimum make 15% on your money every fucking year.
Okay, gotcha.
Just to just to not fall off track.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, that's really good to hear. So by the end of 2026 is what you're saying, or by 2026.
I mean, if Dakota's already got that saved, dude, hoard that shit like a motherfucker. Save that. If I were to give
Because we're
you,
thinking about, yeah.
Like-
Yeah, go ahead.
if I could give you even more advice, is this is what I did is what you can do is you can get like business line credits. So you can get like free money from the government or free money from the bank. So let's say I don't want to spend too long here, but let's say you make 500K in revenue and then you spend 500K. Okay. So you basically have $0, right? You can go online. You can start an Wilgie, for example. You can start an e-commerce store. You can do something where you do 500K in revenue, you spend 500K on ads and product, and have $0 net takeover. Here's the thing: the bank will give you $100,000 business line credit for this. They will give you $100,000 because they're basically going to offer 500K. Now you take that 100K, you can basically invest that, and then now you have your 100K cash that you keep as a safety net. So whatever you and her make, let's say everything goes to shit, you guys have your 100K cash. There's a bunch of different things you can do. But anyways, I'll stop talking. I feel like I'm just
No, it's super helpful. Yeah, I feel like I could learn like all about all this stuff like all day long, but I feel like right now I have no money to even make this make sense, you know? So, but yeah, that's a good objective for sure. 100K.
Start looking this is a good guy to check out. I feel like a lot of people, man, they just spend so much time learning about building businesses like Hormozi and this and that, and they don't spend enough time thinking about finances. And I would say those are two different sports. Business and investing are two completely different sports. I know so many entrepreneurs, I know so many people that they build businesses like Dan Henry and stuff like that, and they fucking lose all their money when they try to invest it. Those are two different fucking sports. It's kind of like sprinting and marathon running. Those are two completely different things, even though they might look the same from the outside in. So I would encourage people to start studying investing, start studying it, learning it. That's where real wealth is created. Investing, not business. Hormozi has this thing, he tells people, oh, fucking business. Bro, most people can't fucking build a business like him, bro. It's not real. That's not reality. Most people are not built like that. Most people have to make their money.
Because I know Mason, you do like crypto research and stuff, like that's part of your schedule, but
I would encourage you guys to subscribe to this guy. Mark Moss, he's a good guy.
I think he's been running ads on Instagram.
Mark Moss?
Yeah, I think so. Or it's another guy, but I think it's actually him.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's him. But this guy, I like what he's doing. I think he's got, like, I really like what he's doing in terms of his YouTube business, in terms of investing. Like, this guy's really got it figured out. But anyways.
Cool.
Now, what else?
I was gonna ask like what you would do. So that's what you'd recommend looking up, like if you want to learn about money and crypto, or does he do like it all, or?
Yeah, just like I would. So there's just a lot that you can learn. So basically, it's like you have cash. Let's say you have. So here's the trick. Okay, when you realize what it is, let's say you have $1 million cash. You take that $1 million cash, and let's say you buy real estate for $1 million. Okay, so somehow you have to come up with this money. Somehow you have to come up with that. I don't know, but you have to come up with it. And then for then you invest in real estate. And then what you do is you take a loan out against this, and then now you invest into something like crypto. And then you take a loan out against this and you invest into something else. So I don't know if this is making sense, but these are the kinds of things that Mark talks about. This is how you like never pay on taxes. And this is how you get your dollar. Oh, here's what I want to explain to you. Sorry. 1 million, you go into whole life insurance. Sorry about that. Whole life insurance, 5%. Okay. So you have $1 million cash, you put in whole life insurance. Whole life insurance will pay 5%. So I don't know what that is. It's like 50K or something like that, right? You take a loan out against this at 2%. So now you're making 5% on your money, but you have a $1 million loan that you have to pay at 2%. So basically you have a spread of 3%. You take that $1 million loan and now you put into real estate. And then real estate will appreciate. And then from there, you can take a loan out against that. And then you can put that into crypto. So if you guys are following along, I know this is a little bit confusing me, but here's the thing. You have $1 million here. You have $1 million here. You have $1 million here. So basically you've taken $1 and you've multiplied it 3 times. That $1 is working for you 3 times. That's the fucking cheat code. I don't know if this is making sense. You have the $1 million in the whole life insurance making you 5%. You have the $1 million that you borrowed. Now it's in real estate making money. You borrowed money against the real estate. You never saw anything. Now it's in crypto. And then you can keep doing this over and over and over again. So you make the $1 million once. The hard part is this. This is what I'm telling you. Invest the 100K by the end of 2026. Make this pile of cash. Once you have the fucking pile of cash, now everything is fucking cheat code. You keep investing and taking loans out against it. Hard part is this.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Check out Mark Moss. Check out Mark Moss. If I were to kind of just give you some key things, I know I keep just talking my ass off here. 1, make the cash. Let's say 100K. Okay. Second tip is just figure out how to work backwards. And when I say backwards, I'm talking about like you're going to make the 100K and then that's going to turn to 500K. And then from there, you're going to go into whole life insurance. And then you're going to go into, real estate and then whatever, like figure out how to work backwards. Again, this comes with like watching Mark Moss and like getting educated. So step 1, focus all of your time and energy to make that $100,000 cash. Step 2 is figure out how to get to your desired end life goal and work backwards. That's it. Like if I were to just kind of distill everything down to 2 main things, that's it. Do that. And when you do that and you realize like it should ground you and motivate you, I think.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. I think the other thing that I was trying to, are you able to pull up Slack?
Yeah. The tech question for Mason.
I think there might have been another one. Oh yeah, the other one was going over, like I talked about a little bit with Amon, but the $97, it's like kicking butt out there. Like as long as the technicians can sell when they're in the house, it's like they are absolutely killing it. Like I think they have, it's been a month. Let me just pull up the numbers.
So your question is on your sales calls, convince them to 249, and then once you get them on the hook, get them to do 97 because it's better.
Yeah, like way better. I haven't had to touch the ad. The ad's at $15 per lead consistently. It went from like 11, but now it's at 15. And it seems to be holding. And I think
my advice to you is just get better at selling the 97. Don't try to like tell them 249, get them in, and then try to bait and switch them into like, oh, do the 97. I would just say just be better at sales. Use better words. And then 2, put your ass online by saying, hey, look, I know this is, I'll tell you what, how about this? If you do it for a month, I will match you with ad spend. I would do it myself. When you say something like that, they can't refute that. I would rather do that. You try to get somebody in for, 249 and then you try to like convince them of this. It's just gonna be a headache, bro. It's just gonna be a headache for your onboarding and service.
Right.
Once you have like 30 clients.
The reason I was thinking like it would be much easier since I have a case study now, if that makes sense. Like I have a case study to be able to show them. So it would be like the thing is with the 249, if I go any lower than that, even with the 249, people get pissed off and they're like, oh no, dude, we don't do that here. Like we need to, it's got to be $500 entry fee. Or we're not a business like that. We're not a bait and switch, any of those scammers. But if I got them in for the 249, which a lot of people are open to, then I show them a case study with like really quickly and ask them if they're really good at selling, they should have no problem, and kind of explain it all. I feel like that's kind of where my head is at.
If you're telling me, so part of this is like, so I'm trusting you that what you're saying is like, if you talk to 10 people, 9 out of 10 people are going to like, you're going to be turned off. And you're telling me that you cannot turn this around, like no matter what, like they're just not going to buy it. Yeah.
Some I have those some reject. I got to get back in the game here. I'm thinking about turning my ads back on. I don't know if I'm gonna go with this free to fee method right now. It just seems like a lot. It seems way easier to get to the desk when I have to be there rather than getting myself to the desk right now to be able to make these calls. Like if I have to be there because somebody scheduled an appointment with me, that seems to be fitting my lifestyle right now. Um, but maybe with this new thing, I should go back to the free to fee. But I guess the goal is just to stack cash, and I feel like with my ads out there and they're working, I think I should just get better at the sales calls and get back into the swing of things like that. Just on that alone, do you have any thoughts or comments?
Well, so I guess the problem that we're trying to solve is like, do I convince people to do this, or do I convince people to do this on the sales call? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Then the other thing kind of seemed more important. Like this thing is kind of just like a thought that was in my head because they have 30 booked jobs, 36 completed. Like they've collected 10 grand.
I guess
With
what I'm getting at is like, what is the problem that you're trying to solve?
$249 doesn't last as long, like not even close. The ad fatigues. I'd say I would have to switch it out within week 2 or 3 with another ad that's only going to last another week or two with all the duplications of the ad sets. With the 97, I've put it up once and it's holding, and we're on like
So
a month and 1 week.
there's sales and then there's service delivery. You're talking about service delivery, you're not talking about sales right now, right? That's what you're saying. Like, hey,
Right.
I'm gonna be able to
Yeah.
do
What I'm
this.
trying to figure out is the balance between I know that the $97 works way better, but a lot of people are not going to hear me out if I say that. So it's kind of a mix of both. Service delivery is why I want to preach the 97, but 249 will get me to allow people to listen to me and actually be able to get them to the next step.
So here's my suggestion. Okay. So my suggestion is this. Again, you have two routes. So I'm on the same page as you. So you have route one, which is convince them of 97 and just get better. That was my very first suggestion to you, because then you're not going to have to bait and switch them on the onboarding. We're going to have to like change their mind and tell them, hey, like, let's do this. Get resistance. They might fucking get pissed off. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do, or if you want to do the 249, 247 or 249, and then on the onboarding, you tell them to do 97. That's kind of what you're telling me. You're like, hey, Krishi, this is my suggestion. Like, hey, I sell people on the 249 because whatever, because that's what they're going to take. And then on the onboarding, I'm going to try to do the bait and switch. That's the second option. My suggestion is do this if you can. Or option 3 is going to be on the discovery call. You basically just tell them, hey, use a tripwire offer or a low ticket offer to get people in, and then you upsell them, and that's how the numbers work out. Are they open to that? So you don't discuss the 97 to 249, you don't discuss anything on the discovery call, okay? And then on the sales call, what you can do is you can have the data for the 97 and the 249 if you want, like a chart, and then maybe like free estimate or something. And then you show them why this is overwhelmingly better.
Gotcha.
Once they're convinced, then you onboard them like regular.
Okay. Gotcha.
That makes sense?
Yeah, so when I sell them on the night, so ideally on the sales call, convince them of the 97, and if they take it well, keep on moving on, hopefully close, and then on the onboarding, just carry on as whatever.
So right now, what you've been doing is you're getting resistance because on the discovery call, you're talking about the price points. So instead of that, just tell them it's a tripwire offer. Just for on the discovery call, all you need to do is get them to agree to doing a tripwire offer. As long as they're open to that, that's cool. You don't have to bring up price. But if you try to bring up 97 on the discovery call, you're gonna fucking lose them, like you said. That's what you're saying. So get them on the
A tripwire offer is what's a tripwire offer?
Tripwire offer is what you're doing. It's a low ticket offer.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm using different words. It's basically what you're doing. $97 offer into an upsell. So on your discovery call, don't go over specific number, which is what you're doing right now. Just be vague and just be open. Just ensure that they're willing to do upsells and downsells and stuff. They say, yeah, okay, cool. And then on the sales call, you logically show the numbers to prove why this one is the best one. And you say, hey, look, if you want some of our clients, they're adamant about this. We're happy to do this, but this is my suggestion for you, and here's why. They agree to it. Boom. You're chilling.
Okay, cool. Okay, sweet. Thank you. I think the last question is for Mason, if he's around.
Mason, is it, if you're around, is this a quick one or is it gonna take a little bit of time or is like a
It's
link?
probably gonna take time just because I know about the update. I just haven't been able to log in to Go High Level and see kind of what's going on.
Can we, what you said that you're hopping on a call tomorrow, Mason? Is there a chance where I could hop on it also? Because I need to get this sorted like as soon as possible, ideally.
No. So I'm not. What I'm saying is I'm not jumping on a call tomorrow. I haven't seen anything of it like so far, but I'm gonna see if I can figure it out because I know that there was an update with the create opportunities. I just don't know what it looks like or like what is actually going on because I haven't been in Go High Level today. But I'm gonna see if I can figure out what's going on tomorrow. Is what I meant to say.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, we can figure it out together if you want.
Yeah, I've just been put this guy's like, I want jobs, I need jobs. I'm like, I know, but the leads are not popping into Go High, so it's like a tech issue.
Are they sticking?
Um,
Like, are they going into Facebook and they're staying stuck in there? Or are they not even being transferred over at all? Or
yeah, Facebook says that there's 11 leads, and then in Go High Level, it's only sending the name without the email and number. But then if I download the CSV file, it shows that there is
Right.
the phone number. It's all weird.
Okay.
I don't. Either way, it's not populated in there automatically.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look. 'Cause I actually have a lot of automations going on right now that use that create opportunity thing. So I got to see what's going on my end as well.
I think it's kind of like if you should be good if you had it set up before, because I made this kind of after the update or during, and it seems like if you make something during
Right.
the update, everything's messed up, which is a pain in
Okay.
the butt.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just send you a Loom, and then you could send me something back tomorrow if we can
Yeah.
hop on
Send
it.
me a Loom and then I'll play around and see what's going on.
Okay, cool. This is like pretty urgent, so if you have time, I'd love to get this sorted.
Yep,
But cool.
I
Yeah,
got you.
I'll send you a Loom, and then if we can hop on, if you think that's best, that'd be sweet.
Perfect. Yep, just send me
Cool.
that.
Thank you.
Pretty cool.
Cool. Also, where's the Rodarte at?
He had a shift in his schedule. I don't know what he's. We didn't get into the details, but he's got something in the evening. So sometimes he makes it, sometimes he doesn't.
Oh, okay, sweet, cool. All right, see you boys. Thank you.
See ya.
Yeah.
Mr. Righteous, I think that leaves us with you.
Yes, sir.
Hey man, what's going on?
Man, so I didn't run my ads for Sunday. I had duplicated the one that was doing well, but it kind of like died off and I was like getting like one lead. But now I let it run for Monday and it's back up. I got 3 leads today. So I hooked a business owner as well while I was at work. So I'll be working on doing some warm handoffs as well.
Those leads that you were just talking about, is that for a location you're trying to hook or is that for your client?
Kind of both, because I only have one person that well, I have one client right now, but I'm still trying to hook like 2 more so I can, get some well, just keep going pretty much as I can.
What I'm asking is, you know how you said you had an ad set that stopped working and then you launched that ad set again, now you got 3 leads. What I'm asking is that ad set for that business owner that you closed, or is that ad set for like a location you're trying to hook somebody in?
No, that's for the business owner that I've got. So should I be doing that? Like, should I be duplicating the asset like every time? Well, no, that would be if I close somebody, I guess. So like, yeah. So if I close somebody like how I have a client right now, and I do get another client per se, would I duplicate the ad set and like make some adjustments in
But
the or just ramp up the ad spend in one? That way I got more leads coming in instead of like 3 or something like that. I can get 6 or
I see what you're saying. I see. So here's what you're saying is like, okay, this is a state, and then you have an ad set here, and you're spending a certain amount going to like this business owner. And what you're saying is
yeah.
if I just get more leads, if I spend more money here, then I'm going to have enough for this business owner, and I could probably get it to this business owner from this ad set. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Or should I have like if once I start closing more clients, should I be, trying to duplicate more assets and just no? Okay.
What I would recommend is this. So let's say this is what I was trying to tell Aman. And again, Aman's doing some testing, so you can kind of learn from him, keep close like there's a lot that he's testing out. So let's say this is again, what state is your guy in?
Memphis.
So Memphis, Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah. So let's say this is Memphis, Tennessee, right? Let's say this is where your client is, and this is the location where all his leads are in. My suggestion is that you move into this market right here. So you basically run ads in this location and you find a business owner in this location. That would be my suggestion. So it's a different radius. Why? Because you don't want this lead and this leads to compete. You want this business owner's leads to go to this business owner. And this is cool. This is chilling. You're chilling. This is your territory here. Now what you want to do is you want to come here, try to run some ads. And if the ads are cheap because they're cheap here, then awesome. Get the leads here. And then you try to find your second business owner number 2 here. That's what I'm suggesting to Aman. And then once you get this, now you try to come down here. It's like, okay, let me see if there's some leads here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now let me get this over to business owner 3. So now you basically monopolize this entire area. These are all your clients.
And that's in one state per se.
Yeah. Each of these represent like a few mile radius. Like this is like a 20-mile radius. This is like a 30-mile radius. So they're all like, so think about like this. This would be like, okay, I did Columbus, Ohio. Okay, banging. Columbus, Ohio is dope. All right, now I'm going to go to Dublin, Ohio. Dublin, Ohio is popping off. All right, now let me go to Upper Arlington real quick.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So right now, let's say you got Dublin, Ohio. Awesome. Now, what's close to Dublin, Ohio? Or let's say you got, Dublin, Ohio. What's close to Dublin, Ohio? Hilliard, Ohio. Let me go to Hilliard, Ohio. Let me see what's going on there. And if Hilliard, Ohio pops off, all right, great. What's close to Hilliard, Ohio? Upper Arlington. So then you have this entire Franklin County region. All of these leads are going to all of your clients. And then once you have this saturated, now maybe you come down to like Cincinnati and see what's going on. And then adjacent to Cincinnati. And then let's say it doesn't work. All right, fuck it. Now let me go up north to Cleveland. Oh, dope. I got a business owner here. And then I'm going to get another location. Like that's how I would be working through this if I was you.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I was a little confused. I was about to start hooking them hooking them all and closing them all. But now that gives me a better understanding of it for sure.
And then just kind of work your way through. Just keep working your way through. And the idea is what I'm trying to get across here is like if a location works, similar location, adjacent locations probably will work as well. That's my theory.
Okay.
So it's like if this location works, and then this location may not work because it's so fucking far from here. That's what my theory is.
Yeah. Because I was actually getting ready to leave Memphis because I was just felt like I was getting the same results as I was in Ohio, but the third duplicate is what popped off, and I ended up getting like 6 leads. Well, it popped off 2, and I let it sit, let it run for a day, and I ended up getting 6, and then it started popping off 3 a day. This new one that I just duplicated would be the 4th time. It gave me 3 today, so I'll let that run and kind of see what it was doing. But I was originally going to test out Nashville as well because I felt like that would be just more traffic, more value.
I feel like what you have to do is like, so if this is like the entire like US, my geography is terrible, but it's like you got to pick wisely. Like, where do you want to go? You want to go in this location? Do you want to go in this location? Where do you want to go? Because like right now, what you're doing is you went here, for example, and now you're like trying to go here. Right? You went from like one location complete to another location. What I'm saying is if we were to, let's just say you went here, now let's zoom in here. So this is zoomed in, and now I'm going to tackle each individual part. That's what I'm saying. It's like pick one state, one big location, and then start to slowly eat up every single sub-market there. And then once you're done here, now we can move on to another state.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This way you stay methodical about it. Instead of like right now you're kind of just like and everybody's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah, that was starting to get a little crazy trying to track everything. I'm like, you got to duplicate the forms to have different websites set up. So the tracking was definitely getting a little crazy. In terms of like collecting payment, for the trial, like the weekly, do you think it would be like a good idea to check in with them the day before payment to see if they like it's something that they want to continue, or should I just run the card, and if they be like, hey, I don't want to, then probably refund them or just keep it pushing or something like that.
These are things again, the more clients you do, bro, the better you're gonna get at setting proper expectations. So I don't know exactly what you said to him. So this is why. So after the sales call that you had, that was the last interaction that you had with him, yeah?
On on the phone, yeah.
And then from there, you've just been texting and leads, right? So if I was in your shoes, this is why I said you probably saw my comment is like it's super crucial to stay at the end of the call and just chop it up for a little bit. Super
Yeah.
crucial.
Yeah, I did. I checked that note out too for sure. Because
Then you can do these kinds of things. You can like it's kind of like the idea is typically what you do is you do a sales call, you chill for a little bit, and then you do a proper onboarding call. In this case, I'm trying to remove the onboarding for you guys. So the idea is after the sales call ends, spend 10 minutes chopping it up real quick, set proper expectations. Like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna run the ads. Another thing you say is I'm gonna send you a Google Doc that's gonna go over everything. So that's something you could do. And another thing is, so at the end of the sales call, you transact, chop it up for like quick 10 minutes and be like, hey, look, I'm going to send this document over to you just really quick. And then you pull up the document and you go bullet point, bullet point, bullet. This way you don't forget it. So you go over on the call with him and he gets the email to him. So that would be a little tip I can give you. And so one of the things that you would say is like, hey, it's going to be a transaction of 3 transactions. And then on the 4th one, we'll check in with you before the next transaction. And that is what I would do, because then on the 4th transaction, you can try to do the upsell.
Okay.
So this way he expects to be charged every 7 days for 3 transactions. On the 4th one, when you say, yo, I just want to hop on a really quick call with you, you hop on that call, you try to upsell.
That will work. That's what I was thinking of doing. I was like, I should probably call him that way, because I did want to kind of get an update to even know, how he's been doing, if he's been, getting estimates, has he, gotten any closes, things of that nature, so that I can update the on my.
Yeah. Typically, I mean, what you're asking about, again, like just baby steps, but typically like what Alman is doing, what he was doing for MedSpas is every single client would have their own Excel sheet. So you know how like I have a system set up where, I can come in to everybody's numbers and I can see how everybody's doing. It's part of my SOP. It's part of my system. It's a system I built so I can check in on all of you guys. Just like that, that's what Alman would do. That's what you typically do. And again, that's something we can worry about down the road. You don't have to worry about right now. Right now, don't worry about that. But yeah, depending on how things go, we can start implementing those kinds of systems for your clients as well.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't really have much for today. I'm getting back into the flow. So because at first I was like, I got one business owner, I'm a scale. So
Yeah,
until me that yesterday.
No, you're doing the right thing, bro. Like that's it. Like just keep doing that. Just more. Just do more. Right? It's gonna be sloppy, and that's the point. You're gonna be like you know how as you progress, you get better questions to ask. Like right now, the question you just asked me of like, yo, should I ask him about this or how should I do it? You wouldn't have known to ask that question until you got here. Right? And so after you do 5 more reps, you're gonna have better questions to ask me, and I can give you feedback based off my experience. So this is just normal. So yeah, just put in the reps. It's gonna be sloppy. And that's it. That's all you should be focused on. Just volume, bro. Just volume. Volume. Yeah. What else is brewing your head, bro?
Nothing much, man. I'm excited. I got the first close under my belt, so I was like, it definitely felt good. I noticed my attitude just changing in general. Like even at work, I'm like, well, shoot, I'm even selling more cars here or there. So I'm like, just got to keep going for sure. I'll probably have a bunch more feedback questions throughout the week once I started taking some more reps for sure. So
good. Yeah. I'm glad to hear it, man. Like I said, I appreciate you for pushing through. This was the right move. We thought about like, hey, 6 figure, 6 weeks, niching down this, that. And so this definitely was the right move for you. And we're already seeing that. So now it's just doing volume, bro. So anything else, man, that you want to chop it up about? Anything for me, anything for Mason?
No, I do appreciate you for sharing all the knowledge that you were talking about with Cam. So I was taking notes. I'm like, dude, this is golden, golden. So, but no, I don't got anything on the top of my mind right now. Like you said, just volume, volume, volume. Be a madman. So
Yeah.
it's actually kind of fun for real. I'm actually enjoying it. I just wish I could record while I'm at work. So I'll figure something out eventually. But
Good, good. Cool, cool. All right then, man. If that's everything, then man, we'll just chop it up inside of Slack and I'll see you next week then, okay?
all right, man. Yep.
All right, see you guys. Peace.
Yeah.